San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego, and a happy Monday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks again for making our day a part of yours. We're glad to be here. Talking a lot of different stuff today. Padres baseball over the weekend. A lot of college baseball I was a part of over the weekend. Augie in the chat. Yeah. Ben Afquack times 2 this weekend. How about that? Fire it up. Anaheim Ducks won 3 in a row. They're the only team in the Pacific Division, by the way, that actually has more wins than losses in the standings. Hockey. Gotta love hockey. Gotta love the hockey point system, huh? San Diego FC with a victory yesterday, huh?
We don't have a
San Diego FC thing.
No, we got
a round of applause is fine too. That works.
So if anyone from San Diego FC is listening, we're going to need you to get a duck.
We're going to need you to get a gimmick or something.
And we're going to need you to have it just start going ham on some bongos. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing that just so we could have a drop for you guys.
Yeah, come on, man. We can't go up to Anaheim
sweet.
to have ducks bang on bongos. Come on. You have a soccer sound? I don't know. What would the soccer sound be?
I don't know. No.
Wouldn't be that?
No, it would not.
That game was on where I was at I did the USD game on Sunday. I did all the games this weekend. I had USD baseball Friday. I had USD women's basketball Saturday and baseball Saturday back to back, and then USD baseball on Sunday. No days off, man. The grind. Got to grind it out. I missed Tyler Reddick winning another championship, another race. Guys, 3 for 3.
First driver in NASCAR history to win the first 3 races of a season.
Surprising that it's a team owned by Michael Jordan. 3-peat right there.
I got a chance to meet him this weekend.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. Don't be sniffing tailpipes, dude.
Too late.
Yeah, based on the eye situation there for Frank. Poor Frank.
I'd much rather it happen this weekend, though, than next.
Okay.
I would be losing my mind if I had to deal with this in Phoenix.
We're going to dive into a lot of baseball stuff today. We're going to dive into a lot of Padres baseball stuff, kind of recap what happened over the weekend. Obviously, this is kind of the last weekend that you got to see some of the big stars for the San Diego Padres, especially the ones that are playing in the World Baseball Classic. Like guys like Jackson Merrill still going to be there all the time. I mean, there's a lot of guys battling for spots still going to be there in real time. But no Manny now, no Fernando. I think in the next couple of days, you're not going to have Xander Bogaerts in the lineup. You're not going to have Alek Jacob or on Marinaccio. Those guys are competing for Team Italy. Yuki Matsui's already been banged up, so he ain't going to participate for Team Japan. But we got the World Baseball Classic coming up this week, so going to be interesting. We are going to talk about Alex Verdugo. How about that, Frank? But that happened over the weekend. Alex Verdugo signed a minor league deal. What does that mean for the outfield? We'll talk about that later on in the show. But the one thing that we haven't talked about yet, Frank, really the elephant in the room.
Sam's form on his fastball?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh.
What happened?
Sam did a...
oh, no.
Sam did a velo check, and he's trying to hit, I think he said 65 before the end of spring training. He's got 3 weeks to pick up 2 miles an hour.
Where is he at? 60 something?
He's at 63.
Wow.
He threw 3 pitches on his most recent video. He threw 59, 63, and 61.
That's not what I was going to go with this, but yeah. The most I've ever been clocked at, and I don't even know if it's accurate. I hit 8-0 one time.
It's 77 once.
Wow. How about that? And then every year that I get, which is in a couple of weeks, I will be another year older. It's going to be 81. That's how that works. Isn't that how that works? The older you get, the better you were. I never did that in high school. I did that as an adult. And and after that, I was like, I don't want to throw anymore. My arm feels dead. So Sam, just make sure you stretch and don't hurt the wing, buddy.
He doesn't need a UCL to talk.
That's true. He doesn't. He doesn't need to. There. We should get Sam out there at softball.
Get a little bit lower, push off, finish lower, follow through a little bit more, hit 70, and then call it a spring.
You know what? Nate in the chat already says that Sushi Sam is a liability in softball. So why don't we just replace him with the other Sam?
There you go.
We could do that. All right, let's talk about the Aztecs. Let's talk about the Aztecs. And I'm going to start with this, with San Diego State. I'm going to start with this. San Diego State got hosed on Saturday. Again. They got hosed at Grand Canyon earlier this year, and they got absolutely hosed Saturday afternoon at the Pit. You're up one possession. You trap the freshman in the corner. He fumbles it. Everybody watching the game, including Gene Steratore. And Gene, I'm going to tell you right now with Gene never disagrees with any official ever. So including the CBS rules analyst, Gene Steratore, everybody in the world says it's Aztec basketball. So you challenge it. You slow it down. You look at it frame by frame. And somehow they still don't get it right. It still goes against you. That is a season-altering call. And that building, in that moment, with your NCAA tournament life hanging by a thread, and I don't want to hear that, well, you can't leave it in the officials' hands, because sometimes you do. Sometimes in college basketball, especially on the road, in the Pit, you're going to have a one-possession game. That's the reality. And in that moment, San Diego State made the defensive play they needed. They earned that basketball, and they didn't get it. Now, with that being said, if your entire season comes down to one replay review in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you didn't handle your business either. And that's part nobody really in the red and black, the scarlet and black, really wants to talk about today. You lost at home to Troy. At home. You dropped games at Colorado State. You got absolutely smoked by Michigan. You got run out of the gym by Arizona. Those aren't bad luck losses. Those are resume killers. So, yes, you did get hosed Saturday. But why are you in a position where one whistle can bury your season? That's the bigger issue. This team has been wildly inconsistent. When they're locked in, they could beat Utah State by 17 like they did Wednesday. When they're not, they can't make free throws and they can't rebound. You went 13 for 22 at the line in a 5-point loss. New Mexico goes 25 for 26. That's the game. Buljan, 24 and 18, 9 offensive rebounds, 9. That's not officiating. That's physicality. That's want to. And in March, that stuff matters more than the X's and O's. This season has been defined by missed opportunities for San Diego State. You had chances to stack quality wins early, and you didn't do it. You had chances to separate in the Mountain West, and you didn't do it. You had chances to slam the door Saturday when you were up double digits, and you didn't do it. And now the at-large cushion is gone. You are almost certainly in win the Mountain West tournament or go home territory. And that is disappointing because the standard has changed. This isn't a plucky mid-major hoping to sneak in. This is San Diego State. This is a program that's been to the Final Four. This is a program that expects to hear its name called on Selection Sunday each and every year. And right now, that's not a given. It's a season of frustration, a season of almost, a season where you can pivot to 5 different games and say, if we just finished that one. But you didn't. That's why Saturday hurts so much. because it's not just one bad call. It's the accumulation of all of it. It's Troy. It's Colorado State. It's Michigan. It's Arizona. It's letting New Mexico hang around when you're up 30-19. It's missing nine free throws. It's giving up 9 offensive rebounds to just one person. And now you're walking into March with no safety net. And here's the reality. You want to go to the dance? Go win in Las Vegas. No more bubble talk. No more metrics. No more hoping. Cut down the nets in the Mountain West tournament, because if you don't, this is going to be remembered as a season of disappointment and missed opportunity. And that's the hardest part. This team is good enough, but being good enough doesn't matter. Finishing does. And they haven't done enough of it. This is a team, as I've mentioned before, and I've had these conversations. You could talk about winning 20 games as being a successful season all you want. But for San Diego State, just winning 20 games isn't success anymore. Do you see, Frank, San Diego State hanging a banner next year going like, hey, we won 20 games. What's everybody upset about?
No shot.
Absolutely not. You need to win 20 games plus and make the NCAA tournament. You are the team, the big dog of the conference, the one that has carried this conference and made it relevant for the last 20-something years in college basketball, and you're the one that's leaving because it's not good enough for you, yet now all of a sudden you have to win the Mountain West tournament to make the NCAA tournament? When you went into the season, and this is how you judge this is how you judge the success of a season, Frank. When you went into the season, back in, and you could even start in August when you started like doing camp and all that stuff. When you went into the season November, Frank, if I were to tell Aztec fans that with everybody coming back, with Magoon and Miles Bird and a healthy Reese Dixon Waters, when everybody was upset they weren't ranked to start the year, if I were to tell Aztec fans, you're going to have to win the Mountain West tournament to make the NCAA tournament, is that a successful season? I don't think any one of them would be like, yeah, that'd be exciting. That'd be, you know what? But, we tried our best. Come on. You could complain everything you want about the Mountain West adding Grand Canyon. You could talk about all you want about, maybe it not going your way. But the fact of the matter is, San Diego State had the opportunity in front of them, and they didn't capitalize. I agree. I thought the call on Saturday was beyond atrocious. It was flat out embarrassing for the sport of basketball. How everybody in the world who had eyes on a nationally televised game on CBS can sit there and go, that's San Diego State basketball, and they still mess it up. I mean, that is malpractice of officiating. Absolute malpractice of officiating in basketball. And at the same time, you could sit there and go, we shouldn't be in this position. That should have been a situation of, we got hosed. Oh, well, we've built a big enough lead. We have the resume. It's not a great loss, but it's hard to win on the road in college basketball, in conference play. It's a quad one game. It's not going to kill us. But unfortunately, it's going to kill you because you put yourself in that position leading up to this point. Frank, this has been a disappointing season for Aztecs basketball. And the fact that it's coming down to how hot you can get in a couple of days in Vegas is brutal for a team that coming into this year had expectations of getting a higher seed, and the fan base was upset that they weren't ranked in the top 25 to start the season.
Yeah, and they're just showing right now on the bubble watch, San Diego State is one of the first 4 teams out in Lenardi's recent bubble watch. But exactly, this is a team that everyone felt as though was screwed out of a top 25 spot at the start of the season. If you go back to the start of this year, you missed Miles Bird a little bit. Sure, you missed Magoon Gwath for most of this season. But the expectation was that you were going to walk away with this conference, that you were going to have a couple of hiccups, especially when you're playing teams like Oregon and Michigan and Arizona in non-conference. You were going to have a couple of hiccups there, but you were not expecting to lose to Troy in, what was it, double or triple overtime? You were not expecting that. And the way you've gotten hosed in a couple of games in conference play, it's like, I mean, could have, should have won those games, shouldn't have really put yourself in a position to lose those games in the first place. So this really is one of the most underachieving years that I can remember. Granted, my memory doesn't go back all that far for Aztec basketball, but this is one of the more underachieving teams I think I've ever seen, as far as what the expectation was from the team, what the expectation was from the school, what the expectation was from the fan base. They've shown none of it. They've shown absolutely none of what was supposed to make them so special this year.
It just goes back to, I think a lot of Aztec fans realize it's a lot like the 2018 season, where in 2018 they had a loaded lineup, they had a loaded team, and they did the same thing, and they had to get to a position where they put themselves in a position where they had to win the Mountain West Conference tournament, and they didn't do it. And it's a disappointing season. I don't care how many wins that they racked up, 20-win year, whatever it is. I mean, that better include, that better not include the game over the non-Division I opponent that you played either. I mean, they're not counting those wins. I mean, the Aztecs were superior in most other statistical categories on Saturday, outshooting the Lobos, making 1 more three, distributing 6 more assists, blocking 4 more shots, holding edges and points from turnovers, fast breaks, and the bench. Aztecs and Brian Dutcher with a 10-man rotation. But even then, it came down to a tough play, and unfortunately, you put yourself in that situation. That's the thing. 2 things can be true. 1, they got hosed on Saturday, and 2, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position to begin with, Frank.
Exactly, 100%. This team was too good on paper at the start of the year to be doing what they're doing right now, and to be playing in the way that they're playing right now. And now you've pretty much secured the fact that you're not winning the regular season title for this conference. And now you have to get hot in the Mountain West tournament if you want to win. And by the way, you still have a trip to Boise State coming up tomorrow night. So you still have a quad 1 game you have to play before you come home and to close out this season. And now, Lord knows what the home crowd is going to be like, knowing that there's really next to nothing on the line now.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens with San. I mean, they still got to finish the season strong. They got 2 more games left. They have to get 2 wins here to try to pad as many stats as possible. And then it's really lock into Vegas time. And we'll get you an update on what the bubble looks like right now. I mean, even for San Diego State, they're still hanging around at that spot. And, you just don't want to be in a situation, Frank, on Selection Sunday where they're taking a 500 Auburn team over an Aztecs basketball team that probably deserves to be in the NCAA tournament more than Auburn. You can't put yourself in that position because you did it on Saturday by putting your life in the hands of the officials, and you're going to do the same thing with the committee on Sunday in a couple of weeks unless you win the conference tournament. We'll take a look at the bubble when we come back. Get your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Just getting started on a Monday morning. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan.
Sit most of their best players, even the ones that are playing, they limit them to about 20 minutes a game. Also, the Wizards are 29th in defensive rating over the last 15 games, and they play at the 3rd fastest pace in the league. So offense should come easy for Houston. I'm going over on the Rockets team total points. I'm Papa Will. Bet smarter or beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
My name is
Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant, talking about Aztec basketball over the weekend. That was tough to see the way that game finished. Everything like that. But here's the other equation. Let's talk about this for a second, because I think Mark Ziegler really laid it out well in his 3 takeaways. And he labeled one as death of a Cinderella. And I'm going to talk about that in a sense after I set this up. But you look at the latest bracketology from Joe Lunardi. You look at the list, and again, he doesn't update his one on. He hasn't updated his one on ESPN.com, but he has been putting out little. I want to call them flyers. They look like one sheets on social media that updates all the time. Sometimes they update a couple of times a day. Sometimes they don't update for a couple of days. I don't know when he decides to do this. He's got one as of an hour ago. And his last 4 in are Santa Clara, Ohio State, New Mexico, Indiana. And his first 4 out are Auburn, San Diego State, VCU, and Virginia Tech. Now, if you look at the Joe Lunardi bracketology, again, he is ranked the 125th best bracketologist out of 185. Take that for what it's worth. And then you compare it with the Bubble Watch article on ESPN. Start doing the math. There's not a lot of spots available for mid-major programs. If you look at the, as of right now, they think there's 29 total locks across the Power 5 and then Gonzaga, Utah State, and St. Mary's. 29 total locks already. There's only 37 at-large bids in the NCAA tournament. Now, some of those teams will win their conference. I get it. But when you start breaking down who should be in, who's got work to do, and how the multi-bid seeds work, they think Georgia, Missouri, and Texas should all be in the NCAA tournament. Joe Lunardi does. ESPN.com thinks Iowa, UCLA, and Ohio State all should be in the NCAA tournament. Clemson, Miami, SMU all should be in the NCAA tournament. St. Louis should be almost a lock in the NCAA tournament. Work to do: Texas A&M and Auburn out of the SEC, Indiana and SC out of the Big Ten, Virginia Tech and Cal out of the ACC, TCU and Cincinnati out of the Big 12, Seton Hall out of the Big East, although they lost over the weekend, so they've dropped. And then other mid-majors looking at a place to get in. Miami of Ohio, who is a team that is still currently leading the MAC. Santa Clara, New Mexico, San Diego State, VCU, South Florida. According to Lunardi's latest lines, again, last 4 buys: SMU, UCLA, TCU, Texas A&M. Last 4 in: Santa Clara, Ohio State, New Mexico, Indiana. First 4 out: Auburn, San Diego State, VCU, Virginia Tech. Next 4 out: USC, Cal, West Virginia, Cincinnati. As I name off all of those schools, what is the one thing that they all have in common? What's the most reoccurring theme with that?
Power conference.
They're power conference schools. They're power conference schools. I mean, you're looking at a situation where you got teams like, Auburn is the first 4 team out right now. Auburn, are you kidding me? Auburn. This is another thing that doesn't go San Diego State's way. Look, I, again, have said it multiple times. You've played yourself in this situation. You have. San Diego State, if they don't make the NCAA tournament, has nobody to blame but themselves. But you can also point out a lot of the rules, a lot of the BS-ness, which is not a phrase, but I'm coining it now. The BS-ness of this NCAA tournament and where it currently sits. You look at a team like Auburn. Okay? Auburn is a school. This is what Auburn's done this year. I mean, Auburn up until yesterday was a team that was still in the NCAA tournament. Auburn. You want to hear Auburn? You want to hear what Auburn has done? Let's take a look at what Auburn's done. Auburn is currently 6-10 in their conference. I know the SEC gets a lot of love and a lot of praise, but the fact that the SEC is expected to get 10 or 11 teams in the NCAA tournament is an absolute joke. 6-10 for Auburn in the SEC is not good enough to make the NCAA tournament. No, they're not. They're also 15-14 in the regular season. 15-14. They have played ranked teams. They've lost to almost all of them. This is what Auburn has done. And again, you want to go through this and compare it to San Diego State. I don't know how Auburn is ranked ahead of San Diego State with this metric, aside from the fact that there's a lot of money on the line, and they're from the SEC. They beat Bethune-Cookman, Merrimack, and Wofford. Thumbs up, Auburn. Oh, they played Houston. Houston was number 1 in the country. They lost. They lost to Houston. They beat Jackson State and Oregon. Well, San Diego State beat Oregon. They played Michigan, lost by 30 to Michigan. Well, San Diego State lost by 30 to they lost by 40 to Michigan, 50, whatever it was. They still lost to Michigan. They beat St. John's. Hey, congratulations. You beat St. John's. Beat NC State, played Arizona, got smoked by Arizona. Beat Chattanooga, played Purdue, got smoked by Purdue. Beat Queens. Nice. I'm sure Jerry Seinfeld was upset about that one. Played Georgia, lost. Played Texas A&M, lost. They beat Arkansas. Hey, I guess that's good. Played Missouri on the road, lost. They beat Florida. I guess that's a big win. But you know what Auburn's done in the last handful of games? They lost 5 straight games. They beat Kentucky, and then they lost to Oklahoma and Ole Miss. They have lost. Auburn has. They have lost 7 out of the last 8, and they're limping into the season, or into the postseason, yet they are still a team that has a better chance to make the NCAA tournament than San Diego State. Give me a break. Give me a break. I look at like a lot of these schools that are expected to make the NCAA tournament. They are average schools at best. You look at schools like Georgia at 20-9 and Auburn, and they get all the credit for just playing their own conference. At least the Big 12 has played some teams outside of their conference that have done very well. They've had one of the best teams in the country all year. They have 4 teams ranked in the top 10. Makes sense why they got a handful of bids getting sent out. But when you look at all of these power schools being in contention, it leads to what Mark Ziegler has said, and I agree with this, the death of a Cinderella. San Diego State is hanging tough at 42 in the Ken Palm, 44 in the net. Last year, they were 46 and 52 on Selection Sunday. The problem is that there might be historically few at-large berths available to mid-major conferences as the preposterous sums of money coursing through the sport accentuates the divide between the haves and the have-nots. Direct quote from Mark Ziegler yesterday. The latest field from ESPN's Joe Lenardi has 11 teams from the SEC, 9 from the Big 10, and 8 each from the Big 12 and the ACC. The Big East, which is considered a power conference given its financial commitment to men's basketball, is expected to get only 3 schools in, but you start doing the math. Out of the 37 at-large invitations to the 68-team field, 34 of them are going to Power 4 schools. What does that tell you, Frank?
At a power school, you don't have much of a shot now, do you?
No, you don't. You literally have to be in a power conference. It goes back to that whole situation of you might have had a lifeline to enter the Big 12. I'm telling you, just being in one of those conferences would have helped you mightily more than just the money.
There is good news, though. You will be in a power conference next year.
Sure you will.
You are?
Sure you will. Yeah, of course. Do you think the Pac-12 with 8 teams, 9 teams, is going to get 7 of those in the conference? They're going to outdo the Big East next year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know Gonzaga's going to make it, and then who else is going to make it from that conference? I care for what you wish for. A lot of things are stacked against San Diego State. That is true. San Diego State missed out on opportunities to put themselves in this situation. That is also true. That is also true. It's win in Vegas or go home, which is rough for a lot of people that go to Vegas. But we'll see what the Aztecs do. They got a game tomorrow against Boise State. Again, must win. But at this point, it doesn't really matter because you have to win the tournament in Vegas, which means you got to try to set yourself up for the best possible situation in Vegas. And we'll talk about that later on this week. But I will say this. It's going to be tough sledding for San Diego State, the way that they have played all year. When we come back, Alex Verdugo is part of the Padres now. He signed a minor league deal. What does that mean about the outfield situation for San Diego? We'll take a deeper dive when we come back. So we talk Padres baseball to end the first hour on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 to the Fan. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us on the David P. on the SDCCU fan hotline. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Diving back into Padres baseball now. Talked about the Aztecs. Talked about the Aztecs enough. The first hour of the show. And again, I mean, this is missed opportunities. If you had to pick, though, like here's the thing. I love Brian Dutcher as a head coach of a basketball team that I root for, right? I think he's got so much class about him. Even when things don't go his way, like that terrible call on Saturday. And I tell you what, Aztecs are going to probably put on some type of show in Viejas North up there at Thomas and Mack. But it's just the pressure's on for San Diego State. We'll see how they do tomorrow. We'll see how they respond tomorrow at Boise State. All right, we had some Padres news over the weekend. Before we recap what happened in the spring training games, and now, Frank, I think we're at the point now. How many games have they played?
Too many.
That's not the answer.
As far as I'm concerned, too many. They've played. This is going to be game number 11
today.
In spring training for them, yes.
Yeah, once you get to about 11 or 12 games, it seems like we are now in the stage of spring training where we're in the dog days of spring training. At least we got the WBC coming up, right? Like, when I talk about spring training, did we not do this bit before spring training started?
Yes, we did.
The bit of pitchers and catcher support, we're all excited. You get to see guys throw bullpens, and even though that's like such a boring thing to watch, it's the excitement of we haven't seen baseball in a long time. Oh, look, there's Michael King. He's throwing a bullpen.
A thing is happening.
There's Joe Musgrove. He's throwing a pen. Oh, is that Walker Buehler in a Padres uniform? That guy's throwing a pen. You just get super excited irrationally for pitchers and catchers reporting. We all do it. I do it. I love it. I get excited. And then after about like a day or two of that, you're like, yeah, okay, there's Ron Marinaccio. He's throwing a pen again. Yeah, there's Ethan Salas. He's framing pitches. Okay, cool. Where are the position players? That's the next stage. And then the position players show up. You see them walking in. They got their coffee and stuff in the morning. Oh, my God. Start acting like JR from WWE. My God. It's Gavin Sheets. He's coming in. I mean, most of those guys show up on time. Like, show up early anyway. It's Xander Bogaerts. So he's freaking out. Then they start playing catch, and you're hearing the gloves pop. Oh, this is great. Baseball's back. And that kind of, wears off after a couple of days. Mixed in between mixed, Craig Stammen, the manager, gives some info, and you're like, yeah, this is great. It's great. Love it. He's talking about a rotation. Oh, this is great. Love it. And so then after a couple of days, you're just like, okay, they're taking fly balls. They're doing some ground balls. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, it's probably time to start playing some games, right, Frank? I mean, at that point, after a couple of days of the workouts, you're like, when's the charity game to start things off against the Mariners?
See, this is the funny thing that Jesse always says every spring training, and he's quoting it from somebody else who said it before him. You do the regular season for free. All that money you get in your paycheck is all for spring training. You get paid to do spring training. Everything else is free.
I agree with that. So now now you're waiting, and now you're waiting, right? It's like, oh, we're playing that. We're getting excited. We're playing you're starting to hear the commercials on 97 through the fan. Padres baseball, first pitch, 12:10. Padres Mariners from Peoria. You're just excited. Then you hear the crack of the bat. And then it's like, Padres baseball on the air. And you're getting super pumped. You hear Jesse and Tony for the first time on the radio. You're like jacked. Stepping into the box is Xander Bogaerts. And then you realize the games don't really matter. But you're there. You're like watching. Like, I get to see Fernando in the brown and gold again. Get to see Manny make a play at third. And you're like waiting to see some of the new faces out there. You're excited. You're like, I can't wait. And then a couple of games go by. You're locked in. I mean, you're watching every game that you can that's on TV. You're looking at the game cast, all that stuff. Super excited. And then after a couple of games, you're like, we're at the point now you're starting to think, can we have opening day tomorrow? Can we have opening day tomorrow? What are we still doing here? What are we still doing the spring training stuff for? I know it's for them. I know they got to get hot. I know they got to get ready. But you know what? We're ready for real baseball already. And this is where it gets, you're in the dog days of spring training. At least you got the World Baseball Classic really makes it jump to opening day. So excited for opening day in Padres baseball. Excited to see, you want to see what the results are of this roster. You want to see who can, you don't want to watch the process. You just want the results of the process. We're starting to get to that point of spring training, Frank. Are we not?
100%, yes.
And I think the players are going to be at that point too. They're so excited to play real competitive baseball games in the WBC. And I know this is important for a lot of the guys out there trying to make teams and stuff. Oh my God, that was brutal. Valencia, my guy. Look at that. Doink. Valencia at first base with the Detroit Tigers tries to field a hard ground ball, pulls up a little bit too early, goes off of his foot and ricochets into right center field, turns into a double. Get a lot of those.
Catch the ball and then throw it, or run to the bag, or whatever. Catch the ball. It's
spring training for everybody,
first.
Frank. Spring training for everybody. So I think we're at that point. And not to say that it's not fun. I still will dive into all these games. It's good to see baseball back, but it gets you that more excited for that next thing. And when you get to March, you're like, we have opening day this month. In 24 days, we will be downtown ready for Padres and Tigers. Oh, my. 24 days. Happens in 24 days. So, don't want to overly break down what happened over the weekend. You can kind of get some pieces there, here and there. I think our media in town does a really good job of covering spring training. Sam does a great job covering spring training. And the best thing about spring training, in my opinion, is for the people and the kids that go out to watch and seeing the guys go through a lot of drills that your child goes through and all the fundamentals you don't see these guys do. And watching the backfields and it's better in person than it is on TV. I tell you that. So, without diving into everything that happened over the weekend, we're gonna dive into some of the storylines. One of the big things that happened over the weekend was the Padres signed Alex Verdugo yesterday. Apparently, the Padres have had years of interest in Alex Verdugo. The Padres have signed him to a minor league contract. Verdugo will report to minor league camp, not big league camp, which makes it even more of a low-risk move, Frank. There's no major league commitment to Alex Verdugo, and the organization has explored trading for him in previous season. He's 29 years old. He's still relatively young with track record of success. Obviously, the recent performance hasn't been great. 2025 with the Braves, 239 average and a 585 OPS in 56 games before they released him. 2024 with the Yankees, 233 batting average, 647 OPS, and 621 plate appearances. Overall decline the past two seasons. And against right-handed pitching the last 2 years, a 241 average and just a 655 OPS. Significant drop from earlier production. Why he's interesting, though, when he was at his peak with the Dodgers and the Red Sox, 2019 to 2023, he had a 283 average and a 770 OPS. ranked 11th in Major League Baseball with a 292 batting average versus right-handed pitching in that span. He had an 812 OPS versus righties from 2019 to 2023, which is top 50 in Major League Baseball. And he was a proven everyday contributor during prime years. Former top prospect with pedigree. His career path, he was drafted by the Dodgers in 2014. He debuted in 2017. He was traded to the Red Sox in the Mookie Betts blockbuster. Red Sox get anybody good out of that deal, Frank? I can't remember off the top of my head any of the guys that the Red Sox got that were like some big piece for Mookie Betts.
No.
Maybe you shouldn't trade your stars. Maybe that's never that great of a business idea.
It's a great business idea for any star that's leaving because that team automatically wins the trade deadline. We found that out.
We found that out for sure. Giants won the trade deadline. So he got traded to the Red Sox in the Mookie Betts blockbuster. Later, the Red Sox dealt him to the New York Yankees. Yankees cut him. Brief stint with the Braves. They cut him. Has played in major markets with postseason expectations. But for the Padres right now, they previously discussed trading for him in multiple seasons, as we discussed. Left-handed bat, fits lineup need on paper, could provide depth in the corner outfield. Minor league deal suggests proven opportunity, no financial risk, potential upside if rebound happens. And here's the thing, the biggest takeaway for me on this, Frank, is he signed a minor league deal and he's not even going to be in big league camp.
Yeah, so he's on the team at that point.
Which tells me
he is a Padre.
He's going to stay in the organization.
Yes.
This is a project. He wouldn't have signed here to just leave. He can't, he doesn't have one of those contracts where he's going to leave after a certain amount of time. I'm sure he does have those rights with the service time that he has accumulated, but that's a guy to me that wants to be on be in line of an organization that has a chance to win. So to me, signing Alex Verdugo, you signed a AAA outfielder, and you're going to see if you could get him up to speed. And if he's not, then you don't have to pull him up. He doesn't cost you a spot. So now you have, I think, a little bit of extra added depth down in the minor leagues for the outfield, just in case somebody gets hurt and you need to make an outfield spot later on in the season. I don't mind this move at all.
Yeah,
on the fact that there's zero risk.
He's on the depth chart behind Bryce Johnson for sure. I think if you start if you get an injury to that outfield, I can see them picking up. I could see them picking him up and calling him up with Bryce Johnson playing every single day. And this is kind of where, you were saying it was interesting and it shows what the Padres are thinking as far as the offense is concerned. But if you go by what we discussed on Friday of you want somebody on the bench who's going to scare you, Alex Verdugo doesn't do that either. So I think that if you're signing a guy like Alex Verdugo and it's a straight minor league deal, I think that just solidifies Bryce Johnson as your number 4 outfielder. And now you're looking for depth behind him. I think this says more about what they think about Tirso Ornelas and his MLB availability and readiness as compared to Bryce Johnson and whether or not Bryce Johnson can make the team or if they're trying to bring someone in for competition for him.
Well, that was my other talking point was we know he's behind Bryce Johnson. Bryce Johnson's on the 40-man roster. Bryce Johnson's in major league camp, all of that, yada, 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 yada. But it was my thinking was, where does he stand in comparison to Tirso Ornelas? I don't who's got him.
I would assume he's over Ornelas because he's not on the 40-man now either. So you're in the same boat.
Yeah, they're the same. I mean, but Tirso could still be the guy. Maybe they want added. I mean, you could have added depth because Tirso's back with the organization. He's just not on the 40-man roster.
They have
the same standing as each other, and I think it's a direct competition. I don't necessarily know if they. I mean, I'm sure they will probably rank one over the other. And I guess if you had to just go based on major league time, Verdugo probably gets the nod.
Yes.
But I think it's an interesting sign. It's an interesting sign, this island of misfit toys the Padres have put together. But I don't mind it. Preller's, he's casting a wide net. And the other thing, this is so much different than previous years because, and we've mentioned this so many times, he's brought in players that are still young veteran players. Taking a chance on young veteran players as opposed to taking a chance on a guy that might have a little bit left in the tank at age 38 through 40.
That's a big change this year.
It's a huge change. And you know what? It's benefited a lot of teams out there in Major League Baseball. Padres hour when we come back. We're going to dive into some Padres baseball. 11 o'clock on a Monday. Braden Surprenant Show. Settings on one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We are the Braden Surprenant Show. We're here each and every day from 10 to 2. Settings on one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Lots to talk about when it comes to the Padres during spring training. And we've talked a lot about these particular situations already. They're going to continue on during spring training. And as we go through all of this, it's the matchups and the competition in the game within the game that you're really looking for all year long, in spring training at least, during the rest of spring training. The Padres are playing today against the Athletics. The Oaklamento Athletics. Michael King's getting another start. You got a pretty good lineup again today. Obviously missing the pieces of the players that are going to the WBC. Jake Cronenworth leading off today. What do you think about that, Frank? We talked about him potentially being a 9-hitter, flip it back to the top. I think he's a great guy in that spot because he walks.
Well, that, and again, I mean, you are going to see some janky and funny lineups because you're missing stars, not because they're hurt or not because they're just a scheduled day off, is they're just not there. So correct. You are going to see some janky, put together, mismatched lineups that you wouldn't normally see because those guys are just straight not options now.
So Cronenworth leads off. Laureano bats second. Merrill third. Andujar fourth. Sheets fifth. Castellanos sixth. Sungmoon Song bats 7. Freddie Vermin bats 8. Mason McCoy in the number 9 spot for the Padres today, going against Barnett of the A's. He's 0-1 in spring training with a 9 ERA and 2 strikeouts. You want to break down the ins and outs of the strategy against Mason Barnett today, Frank? No.
Hit the ball.
Hit the ball.
Hit the ball where someone can't get it. Do that enough times to go around the bases more times than Oaklamento, and you should win.
By the way, can we have Oaklamento? Can we not have Max Muncy play third base? I mean, come on. Hey, Leo DeVries starting at shortstop today for the Oaklamento A's.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he is.
That's cool.
Kurtz, Langoliers, Soderstrom, Rooker, McNeil, Muncy, DeVries, Bolt, and Perez.
I mean, they're going for a World Series. Oh, never mind. The Rockies are the ones that are really going for the World Series. They've only lost 2 games this spring.
You mean the spring training World Series?
Oaklamento's only 1-2. My bad. Going the other way around.
Go Aztecs just threw you a stray. That's a foul. No strays on Frank here. His knowledge of Barnett equals Susana.
He draws the foul.
Arlene Susana, who disrespected 2 months ago.
Listen.
I hope Arlene has a great year.
He sarcastically asked me what the Padres strategy should be against a pitcher that they're never going to see in spring training. I took the sarcastic answer route on that.
All right, here's the other thing too. I do like, since they have started building the stadium in Vegas, we might have to start calling them the Los Oaklamento A's. I think that's a good pull now. I think they're now the Los Oaklamento A's. What do you think? Chalk it on the board for 2026, Big 2-6, Los Oaklamento A's. I think that's fine. I think that's fair. Give him a point. Juan's on the board. Good ad, Juan. Love it. This is why we love the chat fam, okay? Because the chat fam likes to come up with great ideas. That's a great one. The Los Oaklamento A's.
And then they come up with bad ones. Like the one that Trevor Hedrick just came up with.
That's not bad. That's just not appropriate for the radio, but it's also really funny. Chalk up a point for Trevor. There we go. Foul for Go Aztecs. Points for Juan and Trevor.
Aztecs just getting bad fouls. That's all there is to it.
There you go. All right. Juan just had his first moment of first to credit. First on the report.
Yeah, exactly.
John Heyman. All right. Ruben Niebla talked with AJ Cassavell. if I'm not mistaken.
So it's Cassavell's article, but
Yeah, but Ruben Niebla was talking about a lot of the different situations in the pitching staff, and we want to start this hour with that. He's entering his 5th season with the Pods, newly named associate manager in addition to pitching coach duties. And speaking while Craig Stammen was away, the message from camp, competition everywhere between the rotation and the bullpen. We knew this. Padres banking on internal fixes and bounce backs. And if you look at the rotation, we've talked about this a lot, Frank. 3 locks, it says. Chaos behind them. Randy Vasquez likely has the inside track at number 4. Final rotation spots are, quote, wide open. Pivetta, Musgrove, and King going to be in the starting rotation. Vasquez inside track. Final rotation spot is wide open. And there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the rotation and who's competing. I mean, so every time you see Tristan McKenzie pitch and Marco Gonzalez pitch and Armand Marquez pitch, J.P. Sears, Matt Waldron, Walker Buehler, you are seeing competition for one spot. And it could be 2 because they've had a lot of debates with the 5-man and 6-man rotation. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But those are all guys battling for one spot. And to be honest with you, whoever pitches the best is going to be in a really good position, not only to obviously win that role, but I think it's going to create a legit arm to be number 5 in the rotation, Frank.
yeah, and I think we kind of got an answer to the 5-man or 6-man rotation argument, but right now they're focusing on one. They're focusing on seeing who is going to be the one that can get out of this. And German Marquez right now didn't have the greatest of games against San Francisco. And San Francisco has been very good this spring, as Bob Nightingale was on point to notice that San Francisco handed the Dodgers their first loss in spring training. Thank you very much, you goober. And then you saw Walker Buehler also pitch on Saturday against Seattle. Decent outing. Same thing for another guy that's battling for that spot, J.P. Sears, who got credited for the win on Saturday, even though that means nothing. But he pitched good enough to get a win in a spring training game. So there are a bunch of guys out there, and they are starting to perform now.
Yeah, and you're going to see more of that. And that's what makes that's what's the other thing that makes this great too with the WBC is there's a lot of guys leaving, which opens up the door for a lot of other players to participate more and seeing more action and seeing the competition day in and day out. And that storyline definitely makes spring training more entertaining, especially this year for the San Diego Padres. I mean, the last couple of years, it's been like, we're going to see Yuli Gurriel really make this team. The Rougned Odor, they're going to make this team, but it was kind of like making it by default. This is the most competition we've seen in camp in a long time, in a very long time. Now, the WBC is not affecting the pitching as much as it's affecting the position players, but the sentiment's still there. You're going to have a lot of players get more opportunities now with the
pitcher that are looking to still impress, even though they're not in Peoria. You can still win a roster spot in that way. It's very nice to have genuine position and rotation and bullpen battles with guys who all can genuinely make the team and that could genuinely help the team. It is very, very nice to see that, a big departure from the last couple of years.
Let's go into the Walker Buehler spotlight. So he worked a backfield B game. His first inning was rough due to soft contact singles, bounced back with 2 scoreless innings, velocity slightly above where he thought it was going to be. And his self-described outing was a lot of good, a lot of bad. Clear theme, Padres betting on the upside with a guy like Walker Buehler. I'm excited to see Walker Buehler pitch in a real Cactus League game, Frank. I really am. I mean, the backfields are one thing, and I think he's working on a lot of different things. But I'm interested to see what he can do. And again, they still have Griffin Canning in their back pocket. And it's obviously going to like work him back from injury. I mean, he's going to have to kind of go through his own rehab and everything like that. I mean, I know he's probably He's cleared to pitch and everything like that because he's thrown a bullpen before the Padres signed him. It's doing the other things. Sounds like he's not going to be available until May. The Griffin Canning thing is another arm that we haven't talked about a lot. Walker Buehler does get a spotlight a little bit more than I think in German Marquez, but they got guys that could, the upside is high on a lot of these players, and I think they're going to hit on at least one of them.
Yeah, when you have enough of those guys, you're bound to, if you're blindfolded throwing darts, you're bound to hit the board in some way, shape, or form at some point. It's just a matter of opportunity, and the Padres have a lot of opportunity right now. They have a lot of guys here who are on the fringe of having a good season or going back to the way they were and not having a great season. And Walker Buehler is one of those guys, as we've been mentioning. Tristan McKenzie is starting to appear a little bit more like a project since he's starting to fall down that priority list a little bit. But yeah, when you have enough of these guys, you are bound to hit on one of them. And Griffin Canning, as the number 4 or 5 starter for the Mets last year, was having a pretty good time until his Achilles injury.
The 5-man, 6-man rotation debate is going to be continuing all of spring because it's going to depend on competition, right? How the competition plays out. So currently, they're cool with the 5-man rotation. They're aligned for a 5-man rotation setup. All starters working on a 5-day schedule in the beginning of the season with a couple of off days. I mean, there's going to be a 6-day rest for some of those guys. And they said that the decision is going to be based on how competition plays out, which I think is fair because, let's just say, like, if everything goes poorly for the Padres in terms of this rotation, like JP Sears ain't it, Matt Waldron's, still injured. Marco Gonzalez is not a guy that performs well enough to make the rotation. Marquez looks like he still doesn't have anything. Tristan McKenzie, continues to have not great outings, and Walker Buehler can't get the form to what he was. You got to have to go with a 5-man. Like, what are you keeping an extra guy for if none of them are going to be good enough for the rotation long term? You're going to be in a 5-man rotation. But if you get 2 of those guys in competition that are starting to dominate or look really good where you want them part of your rotation, then it's going to be the 6-man rotation conversation again. And I think that's just going to be a phrase that's out there. And at the end of the day, despite all the pros and cons that you and I have laid out for a 5-man and 6-man rotation, the real deciding factor is going to be, well, how'd the competition go in spring? That's going to be the ultimate deciding factor. It's not going to be because of like days off mixed in, days of rest. I mean, we laid out what they could do each side, 5-man and 6-man rotation. It's going to come down to, is Walker Buehler going to be to form that he was in the last 3 games in Philadelphia? Is Walker Buehler going to be the guy that was the stud in LA? Is German Marquez going to be the all-star that he was in 2023 or whatever year it was? And if those things are true, they'll probably do a 6-man rotation. If it's not, or a little iffy, they'll stick to the 5-man. They'll let one of those guys walk or both of them walk, whatever it may be. It could be other players. I'm just using him as an example. It's going to strictly come down to competition.
Yeah, and right, a lot of the conversation that we have had around the 5-man, the 6-man rotation is just that. It's predicting a best case scenario where you have guys that do what they need to do and do perform to the expectation that you have set for them. Now, that's, of course, not guaranteed to happen. So if you have a situation like you just said where German Marquez just throws and is just doing great, but Buehler and McKenzie and whoever aren't there, or one of them gets hurt, or if Buehler is doing good and gets hurt at the last minute, you're not going to finagle a 6-man rotation just because it's been an idea that's been floated out there. You are just going to stick with the 5. So, and it also does help a little bit. The 6-man does help a little bit because it allows you to get a little bit of an extra audition, and then it makes it a little bit easier when Griffin Canning comes back. It's like, okay, this guy was the fluke out of spring training to see, and we can move it around that way. But if it's not great if only one guy performs, but it does make it a lot easier when Griffin Canning comes back to see who the odd man out really is.
In terms of the bullpen, I mean, this is the strength of the roster. Sometimes it gets labeled as like quiet. I don't think anybody. There's nothing quiet about the bullpen. Not when everybody in that bullpen throws over 100 miles an hour.
No,
that's a
it's
loud
not
popping of the glove.
Yeah.
This isn't a secret. It's not a quiet aspect of the team. But viewed internally, it's one of the best bullpens in baseball. I can't really argue with that. The depth creates roster crunch if 6 starters are carried, obviously. But, I mean, you look at some of the bullpen arms that they have mentioned in this article of what they have done so far. Mason Miller, we all know how great Mason Miller is. 4 scoreless spring innings, just 1 hit allowed. He's headed to Team USA for the WBC, dominant and in rhythm. And he's the guy. Hopefully everything stays healthy for Mason Miller and all of the guys that are going to the WBC. Wandy Peralta, another guy going to the WBC. He's been very sharp this spring as he leaves for Team Dominican Republic. And then Adrian Morejon hasn't appeared in an official Cactus League game yet. He threw in a B game. He's being intentionally slow played so far. That was kind of the update that we got from this article over the weekend. He has made a career high 75 appearances. He made a career high 75 appearances last season. And with the heavy workload last year, it's influenced the plan for Morejon this year. They don't want him to like overdo it in spring and just start racking up a bunch of innings and pitches on a guy that threw the most he has ever thrown in his career in a season. So Padres carefully managing bullpen health early, especially, I mean, you already have Jason Adams a little dinged up coming off of his injury. He's a guy that could potentially start the season on the injured list. Yuki Matsui is another guy that could potentially start the season on the injured list. You can't have a guy like Adrian Morejon also do that or burn out at the beginning part of the 2026 season because you're going to need him at the end of the season. You're going to need him in October. But there's a lot of themes starting to emerge with this Padres team and in spring training. And with those, the question is, are the Padres being smart about this or are they gambling too much? We're going to talk about those organizational themes that are emerging here at camp and answer the question when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for our night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97thefan.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, let's talk about some of these organizational themes that are starting to emerge here with this ball club. And I don't think they're very crazy to talk. I mean, they're not out of this world themes. It's not like it's not a massive discovery. Number one, Padres are leaning heavily into competition. That's not crazy to say. I think you can obviously see that right now.
Are they?
They are.
Huh.
I think that's a sign of strength with this team. I think that's a good thing for any team in baseball. Is heavy competition with guys that are battling to play at the major league level. But on top of that, they got the right players to do that. It's not a bunch of young guys that haven't really been at the major league level yet. And it's not a bunch of guys that are hanging on to stay in the big leagues. It's not a lot of Crash Davises out there for the Padres right now. This is a group of guys that have been there in the big leagues before, guys that have been very good in the big leagues before, that have had a little bit of a rough patch and now competing to be part of a team that is expected to be a highly competitive team. That's the best group of players that you could potentially bring in, whether it be the starting pitching, whether it be the bullpen, whether it be the position players. The Padres have loaded themselves up with those types of players. And I think that leads to success. Is it going to work out with everybody? No, it's not. There's going to be some misses. There's going to be some guys that just can't do it anymore. But I think the ceiling being as high as it is worth the risk. And these are the risks that you have to take, Frank, when you have already spent the money on your roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are the guys that we've applauded AJ Preller for over the last couple of years at finding. I mean, we're talking about guys we still discuss the great years that Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha had. And this is very much in the similar vein to what a lot of these guys have done. We were very happy with Jose Iglesias last year doing in that sort of vein. So these are the guys that AJ Preller has hit on more often than not that really make your full roster be a competitor. And while the rest, say the national media, do not see it, we are seeing that there is very much a very good chance that this team has a good year. And it'll not be because of Manny and Fernando and Merrill and Xander. It'll be because of these guys that are battling for positions, trying to make this team right now.
We didn't get into the David Morgan article from Kevin Acee or for the San Diego Union Tribune that happened on Friday that really highlights the next theme for the Padres. And that is the Padres are really trusting their pitching infrastructure to fix struggling arms. And I think that's also part of the deal. I mean, you can't fix everybody. And I know that seems like a fool's errand a lot of times, but when you have the pitching facilities that the Padres have, and you have that lab they have at Point Loma Nazarene that you've partnered with, and you have had the ability to turn guys into great pitchers and resurrect some great pitchers, you can trust your pitching infrastructure to fix struggling arms, I think, a little bit more. And you can use that as a strategy. And I think the Padres are doing that on top of the leaning heavily into competition. I also think that is a sign of the resources the money they have spent on resources, the money they have spent on the coaching staff that they have. And I think that what you do with that technology and that coaching is now you can get guys for a lot cheaper, knowing that you got a guy like Ruben Niebla and you have the facilities that the Padres have and you've invested this money. You do that to save money on players because you know that your staff is going to be able to get them right.
Yeah, and you've seen the approach that the Padres have taken to pitching. It's a pitcher's ballpark. They have probably, if not the best pitching coach in the game right now. They also have a relief pitcher as a manager. So they really are going in on everything that they need to do with pitching in order to make sure that these guys are as good as they possibly can be, getting into this season, because if hitting wavers, sure, it's annoying, but if pitching really wavers, that can win or lose you games in a heartbeat, no matter how good or bad the offense is doing. So if you really bolster up that pitching and you make it to where it is the most impenetrable, impervious part of your team, you have a championship contending roster.
I mean, like the article said about David Morgan, I mean, they took a guy that was he had a strong A-ball showed him that they could work with him. They took a guy that struggled in Double-A San Antonio with a 5.45 ERA. They removed his high leg kick. They streamlined his delivery. They made him more direct to the plate. They improved command of the high 90s fastball. They sent him to the Arizona Fall League after 2024, where he did not do well. Had a 6.23 ERA, did not earn a big league camp invite. And they got the breakthrough last year in 2025, where he opened the season with 19 strikeouts and 1 walk in 8 2/3 innings. He had a 3.12 ERA in Double-A. He was called up by April 27th directly from Double-A, and he's stuck in the big leagues. And Ruben Niebla identified squared release point. He added a 2-seamer to complement the 4-seamer, debuted a new pitch against the Dodgers, and he had a 26 outing stretch with a 1.44 ERA. And now he's like guaranteed to make the roster, Frank. I mean, this is a guy that you're asking the question, should David Morgan get more opportunities in high leverage innings in 2026? This is a guy that had a 6 ERA in the Arizona Fall League, didn't get invited to camp last year. And with some coaching and some fixing, he's now one of your best bullpen arms in the bullpen. So now you use that and apply that to what you currently have with your team. And this is one of the main themes. I mean, I saw Go Aztecs in the chat bring it up, and it's true. Jeremiah Estrada was a cast-off.
Yep.
The Cubs threw him away. They're like, we want you to do this. Well, this is my best pitch. Stop throwing that. We want you to do this. I'm not throwing that. See ya. And so they cut him, and the Padres have turned him into a back-end part of the bullpen. Is he unbelievable? No. I mean, he's got some flaws. He's got a lot to work on, but they are taking they have taken some cast-offs in pitching already and have gotten a lot out of them. A lot out of them. And so now they're doing it with the starting rotation. We've seen a lot of it with the relief pitching. But you know what? You know who else had a massive question mark coming here as a starter? Michael King.
Yeah.
Michael King was a massive question mark. Can he be a starting pitcher? We've seen he was a bullpen guy in New York. They were trying to sit there. He was a little bit of a starting side of things. He had way more success in the bullpen. It's worked out so far. They took flyers on Michael Wacha and got a lot out of him. They took a flyer on Seth Lugo. I mean, Seth Lugo, another guy that was a bullpen piece that they turned into a starter. Nick Pivetta, I mean, he was a big question too.
Stephen Kolek was a Rule 5 guy.
Stephen Kolek, Rule 5 draft pick.
Ryan Bergert, people thought was probably a little too early for him to come up.
You could start looking at the track record for the Padres and understand that the philosophy and the theme, they've hit on a lot of these deals. They've hit on a lot of these pitchers.
And I've said it even when I first moved out here in 2006, the Padres always had a bunch of, who in the world is this guy? If it's not Trevor Hoffman or if it wasn't Heath Bell, who are these guys in this bullpen? But they always had one of the best bullpen ERAs in baseball. They have always been a pitching factory, especially when it comes to the bullpen. It's always been good. So it doesn't matter. It really has not mattered who you've had in that bullpen, especially now that you have Ruben Niebla here working his magic. The sky is the limit for this bullpen, and any bullpen as long as those guys are still available or still around.
We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll finish up with some of the themes that are emerging from Padres camp and answer the question: is this an intelligent move by the Padres? I'll tell you what I think when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Lucky for you, Frank. Supposed to cool down this week.
Thank the Lord for that.
Although it's 71 degrees today. That's nice.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's nice.
I'll accept that.
This week, high 72, 71, 71, 69, 70, 76, 78, 72, 69, 71.
That's fair.
That's nice.
That's
you
fair.
can't not like
No,
nice.
no,
but
that's fair.
also it's now March. You know what
It
that
is-
means?
it
You know what
is
that
March.
means? There's a button on there you got to push. You know what that means? It's March. March.
Oh God. Button.
Where's the button?
Oh, I know the button. I know the button. I know the button. Say it again.
It's March. We've made it. It's March. Can't wait for the madness. Should be great.
Oh, there's plenty of madness. All right.
There's madness. A lot of madness on this show. We're crazy. All right.
By the way,
Yeah.
also, yesterday, we were a day late.
And $1 short, always.
Happy Dave Winfield Day yesterday.
Happy Dave Winfield Day yesterday.
Happy Gene Locklear Day today.
Wow.
Happy Chris Young Day.
Happy Chris Young Day.
Happy Jerry Morales Day. It is 3-2. So as MLB Network felt the need to celebrate Shohei Ohtani on January 7th, 1-7, today we celebrate all the Padres who wore number 32 on 3-2. Tomorrow will be 3-3, who wore 33, and so on and so forth.
James Shields Day.
Happy Gene Locklear Day.
If it's James Shields Day tomorrow, is it also automatically Bartolo Colon Day tomorrow?
No, I will forever remember being there for that. But
You know what? It's always darkest before the dawn. You give up a home run to Bartolo Colon, and then you get a generational player out of it. It's great.
Cole Brooks, tomorrow is Mike Piazza Day.
That is correct. I was told I'm a goober today. I don't think so. I don't know how much time we have to do this, but I will say this. I have a new hatred for snails. New hatred for snails. I mentioned this to Frank on Friday. And we have a couple minutes to do it. We're going to get back to this, the bullpen stuff at noon. A new hatred for snails. So, I have a couple of... I used to love snails. They're adorable little creatures. Never step on the snail, nothing. Okay? Never violent towards snails. This spring, I have planted 2 bourbon barrel gardens, if you will. I have a couple tomato plants in there, got some other seeds throughout, got, some herbs, if you will. There's some oregano in there. There's some parsley. I got basil. I got cilantro. I got chives. I got dill. And I planted some, and then I planted some stuff over by the lime tree I have to try to get it to pollinate a little bit better. Some pollinating helpers. So I planted some marigolds, some lavender over by the lime tree. And then I like mint. I wanted to get it set up for the Kentucky Derby of mint juleps, some fresh mint in the yard. So I planted that as well. And for a couple of days in a row, I was waking up to some bite marks coming out of my mint and bite marks coming out of some other things. I thought the marigolds had been trampled in certain areas by a rabbit or maybe some rats or something like that. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't those animals. It wasn't those creatures. It was snails. And Frank, I pulled my Sebastian Maniscalco dad I made a little snack for the snails. Have you ever heard that bit from Sebastian Maniscalco? His dad's garden. He's like,
yes,
we're going to make a little sandwich for our friends, all the critters that were eating his beloved garden. So they put antifreeze on some bologna and made a bologna sandwich. And he's just said, just all these animals. I was like, murdered across that was me yesterday morning. I got the sluggo I needed. I got snails everywhere in the yard. everywhere. And I put Sluggo in all of the little planters I needed to. And I saw, and you know what? That stuff works because snails started getting towards it and they were feasting. And I said, go snails, go here, have some more. Feast.
You know what?
Feast.
You've won me over.
Yeah, go ahead. Feast
Have as
on
much as you want.
how much. I'm just here to feed you. This morning, massacred all over the yard. I have begun my fight against snails. I have. Yes, I have. I have begun my fight. I've won the first battle. I don't know if I've won the war yet. We will see. But yes, I've been Nate, I got it. I got some snail bait all over the place. You mess with my tomatoes, snails. You don't mess with my tomatoes. I got medieval. You know what? As they said in Pulp Fiction, I'll get real medieval on your ass. It's exactly what happened to the snails.
I have a question.
I may or may not have an answer. No, I don't want to eat the wild snails.
No, I wasn't going to ask that.
That's what somebody said in the chat.
Hand sanitizer.
My buddy just texted me, "You're a snail killer." No, murderer. I am going after the snails.
Do you think the Nick Castellanos bit transfers over to snails?
No, he would have hit a home run over the weekend.
Well,
for sure.
Did he play?
I don't know. Oh, you know what? That's a good deal. Going after the snails. I told my sister because I said, I have a new hatred for snails. She was like, I love snails. I said, I used to too. And then they started eating my beloved plants that I've worked so hard into trying to make happen.
You see, you didn't say what you told me on Friday is when you found out what you were doing to the snails.
What do you mean?
Brother started chucking them into the neighbor's yard.
I was doing that first. I can't do that every night. Not the neighbor's yard, in the canyon.
Oh.
They were flying, dude. Flying. Get out. I can't do that every night. Just hucking snails over the fence. They said, get them out of there and get them long gone. I'm like, okay, you can't apply salt. You're going to kill your plants. It's going to ruin the soil. But the other thing you could do, now this might be better. I think this is better than just like laying down the traps and killing the snails because it sends them out in a nice way. They get to have a party. Did you know, Frank? You do because I told you on Friday, but just play along. Did you know, Frank, that snails love beer?
No, I did not know that.
Snails love beer. I found that out in researching how do I get rid of these things without just dumping salt on them. You could set a beer trap. I'm like, a bear trap? No, a beer trap. I'm like, the bear trap's not going to work. I don't know. Beer trap. I'm like, what is a beer trap? So, you take a container and you kind of bury it in the soil, like level, like even with the soil. And you pour beer in there. And the snails are going to flock to the beer. They love beer. Who doesn't, right? And so what happens is they go to the beer and they start drinking away. And then they get drunk. And then they drown in the beer. And that's how they go out. That's a beer trap for snails. I was like, I can't believe this.
It's called a good night is what that's called.
You know what? I think that needs, maybe I got to do that to be it better. Nate obviously has had his fair share of killing snails. I didn't know, as a fellow snail assassin in the chat, there might be a couple of you in there. Skunks eat snails. I love owls. I was hoping owls would eat snails, but they don't.
Do you really want to invite a skunk into your backyard?
You might also find me in that beer trap. Not a skunk. I don't need any Pepe Le Pews walking around. Okay, no Pepe Le Pews walking around. I don't need any skunks. We don't have skunks. I think it's good. There's a ton of skunks in Carmel Valley. A ton of skunks in Carmel Valley. So you're wasting beer to drown intoxicated snails? I didn't know. I have not set a beer trap yet. Just get a bad beer that nobody wants. Snails, man. I'm anti-snails. I used to like snails. I used to be like, oh, don't step on the snail. Step on that thing. You see a snail, that thing's been eating your plants. If you like plants, you got to pick a side here. You can't care for the plants and not take care of the snails.
Oh,
That's like my friend. She thinks coyotes are cute. I'm like,
they are cute.
That thing destroys and kills your pets.
It's a forest
You
puppy.
can't sit there and go like, oh, I love my kitties, and then be like, oh, I love the coyote. Coyote loves your kitties too, not for the reasons that you like your
Good, they'll
kitties.
get along then.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the forest puppy.
Those things are evil, and they're on the hunt all the time. I like possums. Possums are cool. I don't mess with possums. Snails, number one on my enemy list right now. So I got up this morning. I saw a couple of them bubbling to Nate's joy, I guess. And then I saw some other ones that were waking up this morning and walking around, and they were macking on some bait. Sorry, boys. You mess with the wrong tomato. You mess with the wrong tomato plant. You ruin the marigolds out on the snails.
By the way, if there is
Rod knows. Yeah, you got to get the Roadrunner to get rid of the coyote.
if there is any raccoon slander in the chat, you will be permabanned. Period. I do not. My trash pandas do not get dissed in the chat.
Uh-oh. I got friends that like snails. They're upset. I'm sorry, man. They burned me. They made an enemy out of me. You know what else made an enemy out of me this weekend? Michigan baseball. I mean, I have a problem with Michigan baseball. I'm just going to do my gripes thing.
We could post one of these. We can't post the other one.
Snails. It's great. Michigan, I don't like when teams do this. Okay, so I'm trying to do a job. I need lineups to do it. How hard is it to call a baseball game without a lineup, Frank?
It can be quite interesting.
It's not great. How about when a team refuses to? There you go. Snails love beer. That's a great photo of me, by the way. That should be the next Whataburger ad. As I had the Hatch Green Chili Burger right there.
Look like an early Richard Hammond, honestly.
I was in a wedding. That's in Decatur, Texas.
I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying it's.
You like got the cowboy boots, eating the Whataburger. Oh, great. Johnny Cash. No. I could play musical instruments, maybe. Michigan didn't want to give a lineup to the press box people until they got a lineup from USD, and they didn't want to exchange starters for like gaming reasons. And I'm like, there's a lot of people up top that have to do the game for TV and have to do their job, and their job becomes very difficult if you don't submit a lineup.
Brother, you're Michigan. You're in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You're trying to outgame a team in the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, we don't exchange
doesn't.
lineups. Trying to get a lineup out of them was almost impossible.
I understand you guys doing that for Ohio State. I get it. It's the San Diego Toreros. That more says that says more about how bad your team is. Honestly,
they're good. They're solid.
If you're trying to outgame the USD Toreros as a Big Ten school, I'm sorry.
I got the lineup like 30 minutes for the game, 15 minutes for the game. I got to fill out the book and stuff like that. Our poor announcers were trying to figure it out, like who's starting, who's not. They have all this stuff that they have to do. Poor Tim Day's got to put together. The guy's already working 1,000 events over at USD for the weekend. He's got to try to put all the graphics together for the lineups. He can't do that without a lineup. It's like, we're not putting a lineup in until we get our lineup in. We're talking about pace of play. We're talking about gamesmanship and all. Like, are you kidding me? It's college baseball. This is why they have these rules in Major League Baseball. You got to submit a lineup. Just submit the lineup. It doesn't change. We already know who you're going to play anyway.
If college athletics has taught us anything, it's that, you know what, the rules in pro sports aren't that bad. They're there for a reason.
They're there for a reason. I don't like this gamesmanship thing. It's like, dude, it's not that big of a deal. It's college baseball, okay? It's not that big of a deal. Rusty Filter at Santa Clara did that too, and I was like, bro, what? I remember there was a time they were doing a doubleheader, and USD played the first game, and I went down there to get the second lineup because I need and we have 45 minutes to get ready for game 2. and he wouldn't give a lineup out. And then he submitted a lineup 5 minutes before the game started, and guess what? The lineup was the exact same lineup that he had in the first game. Just say that. Let me do my job. Let us do our job. I don't get it. It's baseball coaches sometimes, man. It's crazy.
It's the same, but different, but still same.
Just tell me it's the same lineup. Save me some time. I don't care. I'm an impartial broadcaster. Sure, I'd like to see USD win, but at the same time, I need the lineup to do my job. And it's not just me. There's a lot of people that can't do any of their job. They can't get their job done until they get the lineup. Adam texted. He's like, snails love beer? Snails love beer, apparently. You got a problem with snails? Put some beer in a trap. That's what you learned today. We're going to get to the sports thread when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
It is time. For the first time in 2026, it is time. It's the noon lunchtime hour. And it is brought to you by who, Frank? Play it.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
It is brought to you by the Craft Taco. Bold flavors at 2 locations, Serena Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum. Lunchtime hour. Craft Taco is back. Have you been to Craft Taco yet in 2026?
Not in 2026, no.
All right, here we go. New bit has started. Craft Taco in the Big 2-6.
Here's a question. Do I get Craft Taco for free if I have to pay that stupid parking at Balboa?
I don't know. That's a touchy subject. I mean, it's tough for them down there with that right now. Try to go support our guy Eddie down at Craft Taco. You're not a city resident, are you? You can't play Torrey Pines and you can't get Craft Taco.
What do you mean?
Does your address say San Diego, California?
It says Chula Vista.
Nope, not a city resident. Sorry, bud.
That's stupid.
That means you can't register to get the parking, the local free parking, as long as you register for $5. Oh, that's interesting. Don't want to talk about that though. Means you can't get a city card for golf too. Can't be playing Torrey. Can't play the local muni like I can. Local muni, way cheaper. Craft Taco. Don't get distracted by the lemur. That should be their phrase. You know what? I think we should write some advertising for that.
I don't know if it's a lemur now.
Oh, yeah. Who knows what it is? Don't get distracted by the animals. Our taste is better. The Craft Taco. Yeah.
Our taste is better. Our taste is better than what? Better than the lemur?
Yeah, better than looking at animals.
Oh.
That's how good the taste of the Craft Taco is.
Gotcha.
I can't take Frank to go play Torrey Pines because Frank would still have to pay the out-of-city price, which is like way more than what I get to pay as a city resident. See, there's benefits to living into the big SD. Just ask POD. All right. We need to get to something that is also sponsored, and that is our sports thread. Let's get to the sports thread.
You know that group chat, the one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what do we got going on in the sports world today?
Had a full weekend here as far as the sports world was concerned.
Number 1.
The Minnesota Vikings have begun trimming their roughly $43 million salary cap deficit by informing veteran running back Aaron Jones Sr. and defensive tackle Javon Hargrave that they will be released later this month, barring a trade, a move that would clear $18.65 million in space as the team navigates the $301.2 million cap. Jones, 31, rushed for a career-high 1,138 yards in 2024, but was limited to just 548 yards in 12 games last season and carried a $14.8 million cap hit for 2026. While Hargrave, 33, started 15 games, posted 3.5 sacks, and was due $15 million with a $21.7 million cap number, leaving Minnesota considering additional restructures or cuts as it recalibrates after 2 aggressive free agency cycles. Is this the natural cost of pushing the chips all in during free agency, or did the Vikings miscalculate their long-term cap strategy?
I think it's just part of the deal with them. I don't think this is part of the just managing the cap and everything like that. So we'll see. There's a lot of moves that are starting to happen right now in the NFL. Mm-hmm. David Montgomery got traded to the Texans today.
Yes.
From the Lions. I think it's a good move for the Lions. You can't keep running backs for a long period of time. In Texas, the Texans needed some running back play. So David Montgomery on his way out. He's going to Houston. But you're going to see a lot of different cap moves over the next couple of weeks. And so as everybody gets ready for the draft, people get ready for free agency to start in the NFL, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Number 2.
This one might make you happy. The Los Angeles Kings have fired head coach Jim Hiller after 2 seasons, naming assistant coach DJ Smith as the interim for the remainder of the year following a difficult February stretch that included a 5-game skid and lopsided losses after the Olympic break, despite adding star winger Artemi Panarin. Hiller, who took over in 2024 after Todd McClellan's dismissal, departs the team sitting in 5th in the Pacific Division and chasing a wild card spot, as general manager Ken Holland said leadership change was needed to maximize a roster dealing with injuries to Kevin Fiala and Andrei Kuzmenko, while trying to capitalize on what is expected to be Captain Anze Kopitar's final season in the NHL, and ends a run of 4 straight first-round exits. Was this coaching change about short-term urgency, or does it signal a larger organizational reset for the Kings?
They've been getting their ass kicked.
Yes, they have.
You kind of have to make a change right there. You're falling down in the standings, and now you get your other SoCal rival moving their way up, now in second place in the Anaheim Ducks. But in this month, and really, I mean, just if you look at the last 10 to 15 games, I mean, it has just been getting their ass kicked. They lost to the Stars, the Knights, the Ducks twice before they got ready for the break. They were able to win 3 games in a row, but like since coming back from the break, it's been rough going into the break and coming back. But the month of February, lost to the Sabres, they beat the Flyers, and then it was lost to the Hurricanes, lost to the Kraken, 4-1 to the Knights, 6-4 to the Knights, 8-1 loss to the Oilers last week. That probably was the straw that broke the camel's back on what the Kings have been doing. They just beat the Flames 2-0, but they got the Avs coming up. And to me, it's desperation time for the Kings. And I think they were preventing the inevitable of basically themselves getting smashed by the Avs.
Yeah.
Tomorrow or tonight. They play tonight.
Yes, they do. So, changes in Los Angeles.
Number 3.
The St. Louis Cardinals have signed manager Ali Marmol to a 2-year contract extension with a club option for 2029, reaffirming their commitment despite 3 straight postseason misses and a 78-84 finish last season. Marmol, 39, owns a .325 and .323 record in 4 seasons and is now the 3rd longest tenured National League manager behind Dave Roberts of the Dodgers and Torey Lovullo of the D-backs. As team president, Chaim Bloom, I believe. Chaim Bloom, sorry. Backs him to guide the youthful roster, including top 2026 Rookie of the Year candidate J.J. Weatherholt, through the early stages of a rebuild. Is extending Marmol a vote of confidence in the rebuild or a risky move for a franchise accustomed to annual contention?
I think that's a belief in the rebuild. I think that's the belief in the rebuild for sure. Because why would you keep this guy around?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, or it's like, hey, we're going to suck. Who cares what Marmol does? Because as soon as we're about ready to get good, we can just let him go. He can just kind of eat it with this team. So I
also
think,
a club option at the end of that too. So that
right.
there is a possibility there for that.
And I think the logic and the thinking here is like, if he does better with these guys than we expect, then he's worth being a manager and keeping during the the finalized part of the rebuild. And if he doesn't, if it gets worse, then he could just wear it for 2 years, and then we can go get somebody else when we're ready to win. I mean, that's kind of what they did for Andy Green. The only difference was for the Andy Green, they gave him an opportunity to be a manager. That's why he signed up to do it. And that was it. So I don't, whatever the Cardinals decide to do, it's bad because they're offering like unlimited concessions for certain seats. Did you see that?
I sent it to you, I think.
We might have to, I couldn't remember who sent it to me, but that's better than like the all you can eat seats they had.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. We'll have to talk about that a little bit, but that's what the Cardinals are at.
Too.
They had to do that. Yeah, we'll talk about that next. I thought the Cardinals fans were the best fans in baseball. I thought they always go. What? What happened? What happened? What's going on, St. Louis? I thought you're the greatest fans in baseball. Why do they have to bribe you with free food now? That place has been desolate the last 2 years. Best really fans in baseball, my ass, dude. I can't believe that. Come on.
Number 4.
What happened?
Division I football rule makers have proposed a 1-year trial adjustment to the targeting penalty that would allow a player ejected for targeting for the first time in a season to play the next game regardless of when the foul occurred, while escalating suspension for repeat offenders. A second ejection would trigger a first half suspension, and a third would sideline the player for a full game as officials seek to balance safety with proportional discipline. The committee also proposed stricter uniform enforcement requiring consistent leg coverings with escalating penalties for violations, and adding the NFL-style fair catch kick as a 3-point option.
I think you could do that in high school.
Yeah. With oversight committee set to vote next month, does easing the carryover targeting penalty strike the right balance between player safety and fairness, or does it risk softening accountability for dangerous hits?
I didn't think they softened it enough. The targeting rule that they put in eliminated the hitting that they wanted out of the game.
Yes.
They have accomplished their goal. Now it's like ticky-tack. Oh, the helmet. Here's the thing. They wear helmets, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to prevent helmets from hitting each other. It's almost impossible. The spearing and the scary hits for your neck and your head, when you do that, and those old hits, they're gone. You've eliminated that. Nobody really does that. Sometimes it happens. That's when you throw the flag. But just because it's a big collision doesn't mean it's targeting. And we can't have subjectivity kick a kid out of a game.
Yeah, that happened in Miami in the semifinal.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So the first offense should be a 15-yard penalty. That's it. It should just be a 15-yard penalty. If it's actually targeting, it should be a 15-yard penalty, and that's it. No ejections, no disqualifications, unless it's like a flagrant 2 in basketball, where it looked like it was ill intent and it was a headhunter and it was the scary hit that you don't want part of football. I think it's very clear that you can distinguish those things. So ejecting a football player for incidental contact to the head and neck area, which happens all the time. I would like for people that don't play football that like to talk about this to tell me as a coach how you prevent this stuff from happening in bang-bang plays. It's impossible. You can't do it. It's going to happen. It is a violent game. The game is violent. You cannot put in rules to make the violent game unviolent.
The worst one for me is the guy who's clearly already committed to a tackle, hitting the quarterback in the head as he goes for a slide late, and then he gets called for targeting.
Right.
Like, what do you want him to do there? He's already committed to the tackle.
On a dime. And then now quarterbacks fake that and then keep running. We can't have that both ways. Or a guy's coming in to tackle and the offensive guy puts his head down and there's no repercussions for the offensive player. I mean, you have to have it both ways. So we're stepping in the right direction. When it comes to these rules, ejecting a player for the next game is utterly ridiculous. Ejecting a player for these offenses in general is utterly ridiculous. But if you got a kid out there who's constantly getting flagged for targeting, there should be some ejection rules. Yes. I think that if you get a legit targeting penalty twice in a game, you're gone. I think that's fair. But the whole targeting rule in general is one of the worst rules in all of sports. It's one of the worst rules in all of sports. So I'm glad that they're changing that. The leg thing it's about time, because in college athletics, the reason why they don't the reason why in college and the pros they don't enforce the knee pad deal is because the owners of the NFL and the presidents at schools don't care about the knee pad safety thing. They don't care. So they don't have to enforce it. In high school, they have to enforce it. The problem is they've made all the pants for the pros in college, and they want them shorter because they don't have to cover the knee. And now you have all these knee pad issues in high school, and it's a problem. So I'm glad that they got rid of that too. The crop top look and the high pants, like, they're wearing shorts out there. So I like some of these changes. The targeting thing is needed to be fixed for a long time.
Number 5.
Trey Perry's driving layup with 1 second left lifted number 21 Miami of Ohio to a dramatic 69-67 victory over Western Michigan, pushing the Redhawks to 29-0, a 16-0 mark in the MAC, as well as the only remaining unbeaten team in Division I men's basketball. Miami erased multiple second-half deficits, including an 8-point hole, and won its 7th game this season by fewer than 6 points, with Peter Sauter scoring 18 before fouling out and Perry finishing with 14 as coach Travis Steele praised his team's poise in tight moments while the program continues its best start in school and conference history entering March. With so many close calls, does Miami's ability to win tight games make them battle-tested for March, or is it a warning sign against stronger competition?
They're a fun story. They're 26-0, right? It's kind of hard to not put them in the NCAA tournament for that. 26-0 and counting against D1 schools.
Okay,
so 3
enough.
of those wins are against non-Division I opponents. They beat Trinity Christian of Illinois, Indiana University East, and they beat Milligan. So that's 3 of their 29 wins. And you look through their conference slate. I mean, their slate in general. Their best win is against Akron. That's their best win in terms of the net. Akron's 57 in the net. They beat them by 3. That's their best win. Nobody that they have beaten is in the top 100 net-wise. So I get it. You have to win the game. You have to win the games in front of you. You can only play who's on the schedule. But they have 0 quad 1 wins. They have 0 quad 1 losses, but they have 0 quad 1 wins. Should Miami, if it come down to Miami, Ohio, and San Diego State, should Miami of Ohio get in over San Diego State with no quad 1 games? I think it sets a bad precedent, right? Because they didn't play anybody. Look, I think it's a fun story, cute story. Hey, look, we're undefeated. Cool, we're in the MAC. But as much as Bruce Pearl misses the boat because he's talking about Auburn and my son that, I gave the job to when I left, which that's a whole discussion for another day. They deserve to be in over Auburn. Auburn sucks. Auburn's 1 game above 500. I know they've played good teams, but you got to be able to beat some good teams every once in a while. But the Miami, Ohio thing, it's no quad 1 games. How about that, Frank? They didn't even play a quad 1 game. You don't even know how good they would be against a quad 1 opponent. Mm-hmm. I think it's hard to put them in the NCAA tournament. They're going to have to win their conference, in my opinion. Cool story, fun. But when your best win is against the 57th team in the net in Akron, and you've played 3 non-D1 schools, I can't really get super excited about it. They beat Air Force in the non-conference. We know how good Air Force is, Frank.
And there's your 5.
There's your 5. It's not the Big 5. It's not the Reindl Report. It's the Sports Thread. It's our version. We're going to go to break. When we come back, what's going on in St. Louis? They got to get people to go to games by giving away free food? Well, it's the new lunchtime hour brought to you by Kraft Taco. Let's talk about it when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station, 97.3 The Fan. Well, since it's the noon lunchtime hour, we got Fred in the chat explaining how to eat the garden snails. Why kill them when you can eat them? Which I guess would be the same thing, Frank. But
why eat them
when
you can not do that?
I have a problem with snails at my house because I have gardens and some raised beds, and the snails have been munching on my plants. I've learned a lot about snails the last couple of days. Obviously, they come out a lot after rain, a little chill, a little cool, right around this time, snail season, apparently. And yeah, I've seen that. I also found out that snails love beer. And our boss was on board with me. I'm going to say me, not liking snails until he heard that part. The gift that he sent was so funny. One of us, one of us, one of us. The snails. Yes, I have a problem with snails in my garden. So I set a bunch of and some sluggo traps that poison the snails. Kind of mean. It's most organic humane way you can go, apparently, according to Sluggo. But as we mentioned, Fred Alexander in the chat said you could actually eat the garden snails, but there's some rules. Never eat the snails straight from the garden. Keep them in a ventilated container for 3 to 5 days, feeding them only clean herbs, lettuce, or cornmeal to purge their digestive
Why are you reading this aloud?
Garden snails are edible if you first purge their digestive systems
Why are
with
you
herbs
reading this
for 3 to 5
aloud?
days. You don't like the French? French eat snails.
That's cool for them.
There you go. Herbal deal. Take that for what it's worth. I wouldn't actually eat the snails in your garden. That's what Fred Alexander's saying. You want to try it? I don't.
No. What do you mean? Do you want to try it?
That sounds like a very bad idea. Well, you can't do it. I can't do it now because I've poisoned all of them.
What are you having for dinner?
I'm eating my garden snails.
I'm eating escargot.
I'll call the ambulance.
It's already on its way. I called it before I started eating them.
It'll be on standby. Don't worry.
All right. Speaking of good food, or I think would be good food, this Cardinals deal.
Whoa, hold.
We're going to the Cardinals stuff.
You just transitioned eating snails.
I'm reading what Fred put in the chat.
Eating ballpark food to speaking of good food.
No, I said speaking of eating. This time good food.
Okay.
You already announced that you don't listen to me.
We gotta work on your segue skills, dude.
No, that was a pretty good segue from food to another food. It's not Kraft Taco level, but what are the Cardinals doing? You sent it to me.
The Cardinals are having fun.
By the way, the Cardinals, who have been known to be the best fans in all of baseball. And when I hear best fan, they just get it. They just know baseball. They're just always around. They always go to the games. They always sell out. Everybody's telling me this when they're, winning divisions and making the playoffs every year. Well, now you've had 2 to 3 bad years of Cardinal baseball. And what's the stadium look like, Frank?
Empty.
Desolate. I thought the Cardinals are the best fans of baseball. It really proves the point that there's really no such thing as a fan that goes and sells out games when the team sucks. I'd be hard pressed. You'd be hard pressed to find a fan base that's going to continually hash out cash for a team that's not good.
Agreed.
Cardinals are not good. They've given up on being good this year. They are basically punting on this season. They are going full rebuild. And after 2 desolate seasons in terms of nobody going to the ballpark, the Cardinals have to come up with some enticing things to get people to in the middle of the summer in Missouri, which I could imagine probably isn't the best.
Now, Ben and Woods did a week of shows from Chicago last year. Do you think?
Aren't they going to Chicago this year?
Or was it last year or was it this year?
They're going to Chicago.
Oh, they're going this year.
They have. I was like, when did they do that?
Darn.
They're for the Cubs series.
Yeah.
They're doing the whole they're doing the little trip thing.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think there's any shot that they would do that for us with the St. Louis series, would they?
I don't have any.
Especially
when
with
is
it being 2 weeks before the Ben and Woods trip. Darn it, man.
No, I had a great deal on that. That's gonna be cool. Don't necessarily know when is that? What month are they playing in St. Louis?
June. It's 2 weeks. It's literally it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
June in
in
St.
June.
Louis? Are you kidding me?
It's literally 2 weeks before the Cubs series that Ben and Woods are doing.
Fan bases do not show up when their team sucks. They don't. Not year in and year out. They might happen one time when they already bought the season tickets. There's nothing to do with them, but it's hardly ever does that have the case. But anyway, the Cardinals try to get people to go to their games, enticing them with food, Frank.
It worked for me. This is from Fox 2 in St. Louis, this article here. A Coca-Cola Unlimited ticket gives fans the opportunity to watch a game from Big Mac Land, specifically sections 271 and 272. With fans with such a ticket will receive a wristband at a check-in station near section 265. After that, fans with the wristband can pick up food at a nearby designated unlimited concession stand. Fans with the wristband can pick up 3 eligible food or drink items per visit and return as often as they would like until the end of the 8th inning. As part of the experience, the following items will be offered on a bottomless basis.
Wow.
Coca-Cola.
This is the full buffet. It's a buffet style too. Is that what it is?
I guess they're going to have a cart. You can take up to 3 per time you go, and then off you go.
That, you know what? That's the perfect thing to do the 999 challenge.
Yes, it is. All of these items are offered on a bottomless basis. Coca-Cola brand fountain drinks with ice.
Oh, good. I'm glad it comes with ice. Thank you.
Hot dogs.
Nice.
Chimkin tenders.
Excuse me?
Bratwurst.
Did you say what did you say?
Chimkin tenders.
Why did you say it like that?
It's I've gotten so used to saying it that way as a joke.
What?
Chicken
Excuse
tenders.
me. Hold on. Pause the show. What? Excuse me? The chicken tenders. What are you calling them?
Chimkin.
What? Why?
It was a inside joke between me and some friends I got so used to just saying it that it kind of became a part of the everyday lexicon.
Okay. You know, your audience doesn't know.
I know. That's why I said I've gotten so used to saying it that way that that's just the way I say it now. Bratwurst.
I've never heard of that. I'm getting texts saying you've never heard of that before. No, I have not. I've not heard of that before.
Bratwurst.
Brats.
I'm on that.
You're
Nachos.
a brat guy over a dog guy?
Well, no, I'll have either one.
Oh, it depends on the casings of the hot dogs. We've been over this.
Yes, that's
You think
it.
St. Louis has the natural casing hot dogs?
No. Well, while I'm reading the rest of this, look up what their hot dog brand is. Nachos, only the chips and cheese. You can't have anything else crazy. It's just the nachos and cheese. Fries.
What was that side comment on that? You can't have the jalapenos in that?
It just says chips and cheese. That's all it says.
Yeah, it says.
Fries.
Okay.
Popcorn.
All right.
Kettle chips.
Nice.
Ice cream.
Ice cream cups.
Oh, baby.
That's worth the $29 in itself.
And I'm dead on the peanuts.
I mean, they're, peanuts are kind of surprising. No Cracker Jacks. I guess that would be no Cracker Jacks. Okay, so for $29, you can get all you can eat hot dogs, chicken tenders, brats, nachos. It's like a lot of those all you can eat seats. $29 is not a bad deal.
No, it's not. What is the Cardinals hot dog?
I looked it up. It was they said Hunter League Leader hot dogs. Team branded option.
What?
They've historically featured Hunter League Leader hot dogs. It's the Cardinals official hot dog, beef franks. I've never heard of that place. I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard of those either. Let me see what they look like. Oh, those. Yeah, I can tell just by the packaging that those are not going to be good.
That's pretty cool. You have to sit in section 271 and 272.
You'll have to sit across the street, but you'll be fed well.
That's what they big Hunter League Leader Cardinals official beef hot dogs.
They honestly, I mean, just by the packaging, of course, I can't see it because God forbid, anyone posts a picture of what these hot dogs look like.
Be careful Google searching hot dog pics.
I mean, they look kind of like a Hebrew National.
It's an all beef hot dog. It's going to be like a Hebrew National. So that's not going to have the casings.
Well, yeah. So it's definitely bratwurst, but I mean, like it looks like the packaging. The way when I saw the packaging, I'm like, oh, these are going to be just Dodger dogs, but shorter.
No,
and Yeah, no. I mean, they look like nothing special hot dogs. They look like ballparks, honestly.
No, they're hot dogs. Good move by them. I don't mind. I mean, those sound like a fun place to go watch a game. $29. I mean, I remember the Padres to have a 5-for-5 deal. That was great.
You know
that was
what
back in the day.
You know what I did not hear on that list?
What?
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
No tacos.
No tacos on
You
the
want?
list.
Let me ask you this question. You legitimately wanted to have tacos in Missouri?
I
You
legitimately
think
wanted.
Missouri has good tacos?
I legitimately wanted to play the sounder again.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fair enough. Update on the Padres. Well, when we come back, we'll get you the update on what's going on against the Los Oklahomento A's. We've added the Los now because they started to build the stadium in Vegas. So
Yeah, it's the
we're
Los
transitioning from Oakland to Sacramento to now Las Vegas. So it's the Los Oklahomento A's at this point in time. We don't make the rules. We just enforce them. When we come back, we'll tell you what's going on with Michael King and the San Diego Padres. We also need a contestant for a midday sports standoff. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. We'll do that all when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All guests on 97.3 The Fan appear on the SDCCU fan hotline. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. Update on the Padre game. They're down 4-0 as they head to the bottom of the second inning. Michael King had a really good outing in his first outing. Michael King gives up 4 earned runs, 1 2/3, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run his second.
Caught him. That's it. Done. Over.
We're done with this. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Michael King experiment failed, boys. Sorry.
It's over.
Out of here.
It's over. Padres will be setting up Andujar, Sheets, and Castellanos in the bottom half of the second. So what happened was in the game, I'll give you a brief little summary. Nick Kurtz walked to get the game started. So leadoff walk's not great. And then Shane Langoliers grounded out, and then Tyler Soderstrom homered to right center field to put the A's up 2-0. Michael King was then able to bounce back and strike out the next 2 batters he saw, and Brent Rooker and Jeff McNeil. Padres go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning, ground out, strikeout, fly out. And then in the second, he strikes out Max Muncy. Not that Max Muncy. The other third base playing Max Muncy. Why do we have to do this? So confusing. Got Leo DeVries to ground out, and then with 2 outs in the second for Michael King, single, walk, single, which made it 4-0 Oakland. And then Cedric Franco came in to replace Michael King, and he was able to get Soderstrom to ground out. So that is the outing for Michael King today. Again, they're working on stuff. There's a lot going on with spring training and everything like that. So it is what it is. So now the Padres are up here in the bottom of the second, down 4-0. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you want to try to take me down in the midday sports standoff, we are taking phone calls for it. If you could take me down in some sports trivia, you will be qualified for a chance to win a pair of tickets. We have a new giveaway this week. If you take me down in sports trivia, you'd be able to qualify for a chance to win a pair of tickets to Field of Dreams Festival at Petco Park on June 13th, featuring Slightly Stupid, Sublime, and more. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Looking for a contestant today to take me down in sports trivia. If you can take me down, you're qualified to win tickets to see Slightly Stupid and Sublime and more at Petco Park on June 13th. So we'll let you call in and try to get a contestant for that. Leadoff man is on for the Padres on a walk to get the second inning started. I like the Kelly Green at spring training for the Los Oklahoma A's, by the way. I love when they wear their Kelly Green uniforms. This is a great uniform matchup in spring training today, Frank. Got the brown tops for the Pods. Got the Kelly Green tops for the A's. It's great.
For me, my favorite A's jersey is the
all whites. White from top to bottom, including the cleats. I love those with the green hats. Love them. Love that.
Speaking of the all whites, they have confirmed that San Diego will be the team base camp for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. New Zealand football have chosen the University of San Diego's Torero Stadium as their training ground, as well as a team hotel close by. As with the majority of sides at the FIFA World Cup, the team will be based in one city and travel to the match location either 1 or 2 days before games. Ahead of the All Whites opening match against Iran on June 16th in Los Angeles, the team will travel 2 hours by road. So the team here in town is New Zealand is going to be based here.
Isn't I thought New Zealand were the All Blacks.
That's for the rugby team.
That is just the rugby team?
I guess. I don't know. That's what it says in the press release. So they will warm up for the FIFA World Cup with an international friendly against England in South Florida on June 7th, and then they will be on their way to San Diego. So we'll have New Zealand in town as a base camp. That's cool. So while Frank is trying to figure out if we have a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff, I do want to go back to a couple of things, if we can, with the bullpen. We talked about some of the major themes of the Padres getting announced, really, with some of the actions in camp. Padres are leaning heavily into competition. They're trusting pitching infrastructure to fix struggling arms. Deep bullpen does give them flexibility, and the rotation upside is high. Floor is very uncertain. I think a lot of those are in play right now in spring when it comes to the pitching staff. So I think we're working on, I think we got a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. Frank seems like he is explaining the rules. So if the contestant could take me down in sports trivia, they will be qualified for a chance to win a pair of tickets to Field of Dreams Festival at Petco Park on June 13th, featuring Slightly Stupid, Sublime, and more. Tickets are at Ticketmaster.com. Let's get to it, Frank.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We have Teresa in Santee playing today. Teresa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. It's baseball season.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And Padres are in run scoring position here, down 4-0.
2 walks. Gotta love the leadoff walks, man.
Exactly right. So today's question, per Athlon Sports, who are the top 10 biggest spenders this MLB offseason? Which baseball team spent the most money in free agency this offseason?
Free agency. Okay.
Teresa, you have the first guess.
There's 10 of them.
The top 10, yes.
I'm going to start with the Dodgers, LA Dodgers.
The Dodgers were the second highest spenders in free agency this year. They spent $326.7 million.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of what about the Blue Jays? They spent a lot of money.
The Blue Jays were number one. They spent $336 million.
Okay, I'll go with the New York Mets.
The New York Mets were third at $243.25 million spent this offseason.
You would think that Pete Alonso would be on their team if they did that.
He draws the foul.
You're such a jerk. You're not funny.
Let's go with the Orioles. Probably just all in the Pete Alonso deal.
The Orioles are number 6 on this list. They spent $213.6 million.
Wow.
Okay, so what do we have?
Okay.
Teresa, you have 1, 2, 3, and 6.
I'm going to say Miami Marlins.
No, the Marlins are not on this list.
What about the Cubs? They got Bregman.
Cubbies are number 4 on the list. They spent $231.03 million.
They spent how much? 200?
$231 million.
Teresa?
175 of that goes
Okay,
to one guy.
that leaves the big city New York Yankees, maybe?
The Yankees are number 7. They spent $195.53 million.
Okay. What about
Bless you.
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is number 5. They spent $227 million. Teresa, we're missing 8, 9, and 10 right now.
8, 9, and 10. I will go with Seattle Mariners.
Really?
Seattle was number 11 at $99.75 million.
Close.
How much did they spend?
$99.75 million.
Okay, so it has to be at least
It's going to be
$100
no
million.
ties.
Oh God. I don't like this, Gus. But what about Detroit?
You don't like it, but it's right. Detroit, $187.03 million spent.
Does that doesn't count as like the arbit? It's just new pickups, right?
It's money spent over the offseason.
So that counts.
Athlon Sports.
Okay.
That counts as Scoobles deal.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, the arbitration
I'm
hearings.
thinking of two
I
teams,
believe so. I'm
one
not
in the
entirely
middle of the country and one on the east. I'm going to go with the middle, St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh no.
No.
No,
They
I'm
didn't-
sorry,
they didn't
Teresa.
spend
That is
any money.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I'm sorry, Teresa. That is strike 3. Braden is going to win it today.
Any other year, Teresa's probably on fire
she's-
with that one.
Exactly. You got
Who are we
9 and
missing?
10 left.
My next one that was kind of on the fence was Houston.
Houston was number 16 at $57.95 million.
They spent all their money on one guy. They spent all their money on the on Okamoto. I mean, not Okamoto. Imai. Tetsuya Imai.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Arizona?
Arizona's not on the list. No,
San Francisco.
they were number 15 at
Really?
$69.9 million.
Pirates?
No.
Huh. Milwaukee.
They're both Eastern Division.
Oh, both in the East. We already did Boston.
Boston was number 9 at 136.
We already said the Yankees and the
So-
Blue Jays and the Orioles, and Tampa didn't spend, so it's got to be the National League. Atlanta?
Atlanta was number 10 at $113.8 million.
113.
spent.
What did they spend that on? Robert Suarez? Who did Atlanta spend that money on? Just picking up all of the old Padres?
I guess so. Teresa,
Hassan Kim was $20 million
yeah.
on an extension or whatever it was, re-sign. All right. Well, when we come back, dive back into Padres baseball. Plus, San Diego FC had a big win yesterday. We'll talk about what happened in that match. Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show.
Hey, it's Chrisella from Gwynn and Chris. Just because the Padres season is over doesn't mean we stop talking about the Padres. We'll bring you all of the news of the offseason. Gwynn and Chris, 2 to 6 weekdays on 97.3 The Fan.
The noon lunchtime hour is brought to you by the Craft Taco. Whether you're craving gourmet tacos for lunch or a craft beer for happy hour, the Craft Taco is the answer. Open at the Natural History Museum in Balboa Park as well as Sereno Valley.
Ready to ditch the screens for some family splash time? At Master Spas of California, we make it easy to relax and rejuvenate together. Our latest technology offers mineral or premium saltwater systems for naturally pure, crystal clear water with minimal maintenance. It's the perfect environment to teach your kids to swim or enjoy a quiet soak. Now is the time to buy. Visit our showrooms in Brea and Escondido or find us at masterspas.com.
$18.5 million settlement for a motorist leg.
Final hour of the Braden Surprenant show. As we broadcast live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. It's 1 o'clock. You know what time it is. Do you know what time it is?
It's definitely nap time today. My goodness.
Oh, man. Frank needs some sleep.
Hey, boys.
Busy weekend, dude?
No, I slept from like 9 in the morning to 9 at night to like maybe 7:30 yesterday. And then today I went to bed early and woke up early again. So I'm getting to sleep.
We got our extended show today, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Good thing all our notes are done today. It's good. It's better.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Thank you.
On your part. It is time for the biggest fan. And today's biggest fan. Big congratulations to today's biggest fan, Ray Alcala. Ray Alcala in Imperial Beach. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. And you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season. Catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 97throughthefantasy.com/biggest fan. Ray Alcala, A-L-C-A-L-A. Got 10 minutes. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Congratulations to Ray, R-E-Y. You are today's biggest fan. Way to go, Ray. Anyway. You want to talk about, let's get the update back on the Padres. I spoke too soon. I forgot that in spring training you could do this. You can have somebody come in, finish the inning for your pitcher, and then bring him back in. So they brought Michael King back in the third. He gave up a single to Brent Rooker, and then he got a double play when Jeff McNeil grounded to a double play, and then Omar Cruz has now replaced Michael King. So,
Wait a minute, Jeff McNeil grounding into a double play? Never heard that one before.
Interesting. Are you a Mets fan?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Michael King, 2 1/3, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, gave up the home run. When again, these outings, he's still coming off of an injury from last year. They're working on different things, different locations, different pitches. Take it for what it's worth. As long as he continues to ramp up and feel better health-wise, that's the main goal for a guy like Michael King. So not too worried about that particular situation. It's 4-0 A's. The Los Oklahoma A's have a 4-0 lead on the Padres. Omar Cruz has now come in to pitch for San Diego.
I'm surprised he hasn't gone to Team Mexico yet.
Do we need to bring this up again?
No, I think we're good.
Do we need to bring this up again? Do we need to bring up the fact that the Team Mexico WBC roster does not have him listed on it?
No. I think we're good on that.
Go to MLB.com and... Well, I'll be darned. Omar Cruz is not on the roster. I think this would tell you that he's probably not playing for Team Mexico now. Is that a reach? I don't.
See, folks, that's what's called a callback.
I'm just saying he wasn't on the roster.
I'm saying he was on the website. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't saying you're wrong.
We're saying that. We're saying that you use the wrong websites.
MLB.com is the wrong website.
I'm looking at the same MLB.com, and he ain't on there. So just because it was the OG announcement doesn't mean maybe he didn't make the roster, Frank. He wanted to, didn't make it, wasn't good enough.
It's clearly not me that's the problem. Major League Baseball's the one that's wrong. Got it.
MLB.com. No Omar Cruz, it says. All right. Padres offensively are getting no hit. Take that for what it's worth as well. Castellanos got robbed on a double.
Yeah, your snails aren't working, bud. I'm sorry.
833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Okay. A couple of things that we wanted to talk about that we didn't get to. And you know, we talked a lot about the starting rotation. We briefly talked about the bullpen. And right now, there's a couple of players, that have just left to go play in the World Baseball Classic that are battling for bullpen spots. And the reason is, there's some injuries in there for the Padres that they have to worry about. But I'm talking about the two guys that are headed to play for Italy in the WBC. Ron Marinaccio and Alek Jacob. Kevin Acey had a good article about these guys, two young relievers that are not guaranteed spots on the Padres roster that are now departing camp to go pitch in the WBC. I'd be curious to know what these organizations think about these guys getting reps in the WBC. Is that more beneficial to them than for the Padres in spring training? I almost feel like it would be because it's higher leverage.
Yeah,
it's higher.
You're playing a game
situation. It's more pressure for them. But the WBC decision for these guys that are battling for a spot, opportunity or risk. Like the two relievers that are fighting for roster spots leaving camp for Team Italy, Ron Marinaccio, Alek Jacob. And Marinaccio is out of minor league options. They're both not guaranteed MLB roster spots. And they will prepare in Mesa, Arizona, and then compete in Houston in Pool B in the WBC. Italy's pool includes Brazil, Great Britain, Mexico, and the United States. And they have the potential to face some pretty big stars in that lineup, in those lineups. You talk about a game against Mexico. They got, Randy Arozarena, Alejandro Kirk, Jazz Chisholm Jr., I think, is playing for Great Britain. Plus, you got the Team USA roster, which is loaded. Players view the WBC as higher level competition than typical Cactus League innings. I just brought that up. It might be more beneficial to these guys in doing that. Marinaccio is out of options. He's competing for a job, believes meaningful games can help him. Alek Jacob sees value in facing major league caliber hitters versus AA types in late spring innings. That's also a major factor too, Frank, because when guys like Jacob and Marinaccio come into games, at this point, it's not like they're facing a lot of MLB talent, especially with the WBC taking a lot of MLB talent. And where they get into the game, there are not a lot of MLB players that they're facing because you need your starters to go against those guys. There's other players that are still departing for the WBC too. Mason Miller, Wandy Peralta, Fernando, Manny, Xander. But those are 5 guys that have guaranteed roster spots where Jacob and Marinaccio do not. WBC championship game is March 17th. Pool play ends March 12th. And the bullpen has now been hit with a couple of injuries that have led to now some opportunities as the door has been opened. Brian Hoeing has been shut down with elbow discomfort. That's an interesting storyline. I didn't think Brian Hoeing was going to be a lock for the roster, though, Frank. When you start looking at it, he was kind of an odd man out already, was he not?
I wouldn't even consider him an odd man out. I would consider him almost an afterthought because there's so many guys, we see it in chat all the time, or at least I do, of so many guys asking, what the heck happened to Brian Hoeing? Where is Brian Hoeing? What's the latest on Brian Hoeing? What's going on with him? He's almost like an afterthought on this team now. It's like it's not that he doesn't have a place that he's supposed to be in. It's just like he doesn't have a place, period, right now within the team.
So with those injuries, one of them, he's likely on the IL to start the season. Yuki Matsui still dealing with the adductor strain. He's improving, but opening day status is uncertain. And with Hoeing potentially out, bullpen spot now open. On top of the fact that we haven't talked about Jason Adam yet either. He could start on the injured list also. Padres are expected to carry 8 relievers if they decide to do the 5-man rotation. The bullpen locks right now: Miller, Estrada, Morgan, Morejon, Peralta, Adam if healthy, and it leaves limited openings for that next man up in this organization. And there's a lot of power arms emerging. Bradley Rodriguez, hard-throwing, strong spring so far for the Padres. Ty Adcock is in the high 90s. He was the first free agent the Padres signed this offseason. We haven't even talked really about Kyle Hart a lot. Kyle Hart was on the team last year. He actually made the rotation last year. Lefty option with multi-inning ability. He's got options, though. Padres believe the bullpen is organizational strength. We've agreed with that. But depth is being tested a little bit early. I think the Padres got so much depth with that. They did talk about a little bit, Kevin Acee did in this article about the catching depth. Blake Hunt has been shut down with an oblique injury, who was a minor league signing. Brendan Durfee is added to Major League Camp because of this depth move. Not really an impact to the MLB roster battle. And the catching situation, Frank, has been the one that has been the shoe in the entire time.
Yeah, it has. It's been the most locked down position battle. You know it's going to be Freddie Fermin. You know it's going to be, Luis Camposano, and there's really no one else that's been on the fringes that could possibly take the spot. And they haven't gone out and gotten anyone that could be on the fringes, which I think also leads to how the Padres feel Campy has done so far this spring. Because I think with how much they've gone out and they've signed, they just went out and signed for Dugo. They've gotten a bunch of guys for the pitching rotation and for the bullpen as well. They haven't gotten anyone for catcher, even this late on going into spring. So they are confident with the two catcher options that they have.
I talked about it when you were talking to our contestant Teresa for the game. But the other organizational themes that have started to emerge with this team are deep bullpens, giving them the flexibility. Even with these injuries, Frank, this is still a very deep bullpen.
Yes.
Very deep bullpen. And the rotation upside is very high. The rotation upside, very, very high. Floor is a little uncertain. But as everything we've discussed today on the show about the Padres, as we kind of reset here in the 1 o'clock hour, the question that we haven't answered yet that I've teased a lot, are the Padres being smart or gambling on bounce back arms? I think with the factors that they're leaning heavily into competition, that they're trusting pitching infrastructure to fix struggling arms, the track record speaks for itself. I think this is an intelligent way to fill out your roster considering the circumstances of what the Padres can and cannot do with finances. I think they're being very intelligent with this.
I agree 100%. And it is a gamble. However, it's not a gamble on a 37-year-old like we've discussed over the last couple of weeks. You're gambling on guys who are still, they're not necessarily in their prime, but they're towards the back end of it, that still have something left and aren't just trying to hang on to the last gasp of Major League Baseball that they could possibly have. So I feel comfortable. I'm not a gambler. This is a gamble I feel comfortable with, though.
I think you got pretty good odds with this particular gamble. I mean, these are the moves you have to do when you have spent money already. When you have already spent the money, and you might not have. You can't spend money you don't have. So with this and balancing the budget, right, and paying off the debt that has been reported in a lot of different articles and what have you, you have to be able to find value somewhere. And the Padres find value in the pitching in the sense of, we have a really good pitching coach. We have a really good pitching coach staff. We have the facility over at Point Loma Nazarene. Let's bring in a bunch of competition and bring in guys that have achieved great things before that might be coming off of a couple of down years, so we get them at a low value. I mean, they're basically trying to buy low and sell high on players like Armand Marquez and Walker Buehler and the guys like JP Sears. I mean, they've listed so many of these opportunity or so many of these guys. It's pretty remarkable. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good strategy, in my opinion. I think the Padres are being smart with this. I don't think it's too much of a gamble on bounce back arms. I really don't. I know you have so many rotation candidates coming off of bad years, but working with Ruben Niebla and the facilities that the Padres have to enhance pitching, also going back to what they have already done with other pitchers in the past, I think it increases their chances of hitting on one or two of these guys. And I think those are good odds because you don't have to hit on all of them. You really only have to hit on one, to be honest. I mean, Griffin Canning's expected to come back. I know he's still a risk, but if you include Griffin Canning, you got to hit on two of these guys. That's it. You have to hit on like two of these guys. Even if you just hit on one, I think you're going to be in a good spot, because if you just hit on one, Randy Vasquez is your number 5 starter. That's what your number 5 starter was for most of last year anyway. The bullpen's got crazy depth, which also leads to another question too that I think is interesting. With the bullpen being so good, does the bullpen dictate the rotation decision, or does the rotation dictate what they decide to do with the bullpen? I think the rotation has to take charge here, because even though the bullpen is the biggest strength of this team, the most valuable thing to have is starting pitching over bullpen arms. Like, having a great bullpen is awesome. It's great, but you need the rotation to be in a good spot. Otherwise, the bullpen doesn't even matter.
And from the conversation that we read from AJ Cassavell earlier on today with Ruben Niebla, it's that they are looking at the starting pitching staff and how that works out, not only to determine whether or not they're going to use a 5 or a 6-man rotation, but they're also using that to determine how many bullpen guys they're going to carry. So they have the priority correct in that sense, that they are looking at the starting rotation to get their lead on what they're going to do in the bullpen. But they are waiting right now to see how these battles for the number 5 spot in the rotation play themselves out to determine whether or not they're going to go with a 5 or 6-man rotation, which means either a 7 or 8-man bullpen.
There's a lot we've discussed today with the pitching staff, which is just so on par of the Padres, who've given up 7 runs in 3 innings. But, that's neither here nor there. Again, spring training results don't matter. Michael King, 2 1/3 today, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run. He's coming off of injury. Franco came in a third of an inning. That's it. And then Omar Cruz, a third of an inning, gave up 3 runs, only one of them earned on 3 hits with a walk. In relief of King, who got taken out by Franco and then came back in, and then Omar Cruz relieved Michael King. With the pitching staff, there's 2 more questions I want to answer. If Walker Buehler is even at 85% of what he was, of his old self in LA, does he have to start for the Padres? And is this the most important spring for Ruben Niebla yet? We'll discuss both of those things when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Broadcasting live at the Bill House Studios, we know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We're going to talk about San Diego FC in the next segment to finish up the show after the big win again yesterday. San Diego FC off to a great start to the year. 2-0 victory yesterday for San Diego FC. They'll try to ride that momentum into a couple more MLS games, and then Toluca is here for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, round 2 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We will talk about that in the next segment. We tease going to break as we kind of finish up our conversation on the pitching side of things for the Padres today, based on a lot of information that has come out over the weekend about the Padres pitching situation. Just to recap what has happened today in Peoria, the San Diego Padres are down 7-0 to the A's in the top of the 4th inning. Michael King goes 2 1/3, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a long ball. Franco went a third of an inning. Omar Cruz went a third of an inning. He's still pitching, by the way, but he has gone a third of an inning, and he has allowed 3 runs, only one of them earned on 3 hits and 1 walk. In terms of the offense, the Padres still looking for their first hit of the day. Cronenworth's 0 for 2. Everybody else is 0 for 1, except for Andujar and Sheets, who did not have an at-bat because they walked back-to-back. Castellanos was close to a bases-clearing double, but it was called foul. It was just barely foul. And that is your update on the Padres game. Let's talk about this pitching staff one more time. So 2 questions that were asked, and I think these are interesting points of conversation. Number 1 is Walker Buehler and like his level of back. If Walker Buehler is even 85% of his old self, does he have to start? Does he have to be on this team? I think the answer to that question is yes. He is a former frontline talent. If his velocity is there, the upside win is over a lot of safe options, I would say. I mean, the upside alone is high. And I think you got to bet on the ceiling over maybe stability with some of the other arms that you might have in the rotation. And that's at 85% of his old self. I mean, his old self in a Dodger uniform was a problem for a lot of teams. Problem for the Padres many a times. And the other question that we asked was, is this the most important spring for Ruben Niebla yet? And I think the answer to that is also yes. He's an associate manager now. He got the extra title. I don't think that adds any more pressure or makes this season more important, but he is tasked with fixing multiple former high-end starters and even some bullpen pieces to kind of make this team happen from a pitching standpoint. If he turns 2 of these guys around, especially the front-end starters, he has to be one of the most valuable coaches in all of baseball. So for Ruben Niebla, they put a lot of pressure on this guy this season, but I think he's up for the task. And I think he is really this year going to show how valuable he is for the San Diego Padres. How valuable and how much value he brings to the Padres organization. I do think this is the most important spring for Ruben Niebla. And there's going to be some ups and downs. We're going to see that in spring training. But I'm excited to see what this rotation looks like. And I'm excited to see what this bullpen looks like when we announce the opening day rosters, when they send them out. And we talk about on the show on opening day. I can't wait for that. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. When we come back, a recap of the game from yesterday. San Diego FC got a dub, 2-0 in yesterday's contest. Where does that put San Diego FC? We'll talk about the beginning part of their season and how they were able to get a victory yesterday when we return on the final segment of the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All guests on 97 through the Fan. Join us on the SDCCU Fan Hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking. It's better. Got some San Diego FC to talk about here, Frank. We had a big weekend in San Diego sports. Some good, some bad, some ugly, but
some good, some bad. Most of it didn't matter.
Padres have finally gotten out of the fourth inning. They're down 7-0. Still looking for their first hit. That is a nasty broken bat.
Yeah, sliced it right in half. Long ways.
A's have 7 runs on 10 hits, no errors. Padres have no runs on no hits, and they have committed 1 error. Then it's spring training.
Said most of it doesn't matter. Most of it doesn't matter. Most of it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's fun. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's get to the game that did matter, and that was the game yesterday. 1 year, Frank, after a cautious scoreless draw in their inaugural home opener, San Diego FC left no doubt this time. 3rd minute strike from Anders Dreyer set the tone for a 2-0 victory over St. Louis City SC at Snapdragon Stadium. Dreyer finished a sharp sequence from Marcus Ingvarsson and Ani Valakari, giving San Diego FC immediate control of the game. Ingvarsson added the insurance goal in the 54th minute, assisted by Dreyer. San Diego dominated the game, 61% possession, 10-4 shots advantage, 2nd straight clean sheet from the young goalkeeper from Del Norte and Duran Ferri. And San Diego FC improves to 2-0, balancing MLS play with the CONCACAF Champions Cup action.
Yeah, they looked absolutely incredible last night. Unfortunately, I was planning on going, but couldn't.
Got to watch the game on TV, though. It was on Fox Sports 1.
I did, yes.
Great.
And remember how I said last week that all sports fans are frauds?
Yes.
I am all sports fans because I swore up and down I would never get Apple TV Plus again.
Oh,
and
no.
I would never get it, especially after Formula One now moved off of its own app to Apple TV. Yeah, I got it. I got Apple TV Plus. I got it last week. So I'm a fraud. Hold my hand up there. So it was a good match to watch, though, for sure. That play is such a sweet play, and that's something that San Diego FC does so well. When they do get in the box and when they are looking like they're going to score, you could tell when the ball's going in. It's just sweet, crisp, quick passes that find the open guy, and it's just so beautiful. And that's exactly what happened with Ingvarsson again. I believe this is his 2nd assist of the season. He had one against Montreal to begin the season, and now on this goal from Anders Dreyer, who, by the way, Anders Dreyer again on that second goal, a beautiful pass on the second goal as well. He has contributed to 4 of the 7, directly contributed on the score sheet to 4 of the 7, 5 of the 7 goals, if you count the shot that was deflected right to Pellegrino. Anders Dreyer has had a hand in 5 of San Diego FC's 7 goals this year. You want to tell me he's not going to be in the MVP race again this year? He is so good. I will say, though, might want to let your hair grow back out a little bit. The buzz cut
Frank does not like Anders Dreyer's haircut.
The buzz cut ain't doing good
Cheap
things
shot.
for you, dude.
Foul.
I'm sorry.
God, judging the guy's haircut?
I'm sorry, dude. It looked perfect last year.
Man.
It looked great last year. It was perfect.
Anders Dreyer's on a historic pace to start the season already, and you're worried about his haircut?
I don't like the buzz cut, dude. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it on anyone. I'm sorry.
Anders Dreyer is the 2nd fastest in MLS history to 20 goals and 20 assists. He's only behind Messi in that particular deal. He has already accumulated 3 assists and a goal this season. He is the 2025 MVP runner-up to Messi. Elite franchise-carrying production out of Anders Dreyer, and you're worried about the guy's haircut?
That is my ability to draw, showing its face right there. I'm sorry. I can't get over it every time I see a picture. I'm like, dude, your hair was perfect last year. Why?
Guys, got to go into press. This is why you're not invited to the press conferences. Here's Anders Dreyer. Frank, I know you had a great game, but can you explain to us why your haircut sucks? Are you kidding me, my guy?
I'm sorry.
Guy's haircut sucks.
At least can't say I don't speak my mind.
Yeah.
It's a bad mind to speak, but it's speaking.
Well, we know your opinions a lot on a lot of stuff, Frank. We absolutely do. We absolutely do.
Sorry.
Hopefully San Diego FC is not.
I don't like mine either. That's why I'm going to go get one. And it's not going to be a buzz cut.
I catching strays from Adam Paul in the chat.
Well, no, that's not a stray. That's a direct response. And honestly, not bad. Not wrong on it.
Yeah. You know, for a fact, if you were to ask him about his haircut, he'd give you the Mick Cronin response back.
Are you raising your voice at me?
That's Frank. Getting excited about the haircut.
Which is why I know the platforms that I can ask stupid questions like that. But and in the press room is not one of those places where I can speak my mind on that.
Love Anders Dreyer, the player.
Yeah,
hate Anders Dreyer in terms of the haircut.
Yeah, I hate Anders Dreyer, the hairstylist.
You know what?
The player
Maybe his Moss was
the
better
player's
last
really
year.
good.
Okay, the guy's changing it up. He's off to a good start. Now he's definitely going to keep it unless he starts playing bad. Mikey
That's why I'm worried.
Mikey Varas has a star locked in. He praised Dreyer's training intensity, not coasting off like last year. Not coasting off last year. He's accelerating and escalating his performance from last year. And you know what? Maybe he's getting dialed with the haircut. That's Mikey Varas at the next press conference.
More aerodynamic.
Hey, yeah, the midday show at 970 The Fan, they really like Anders Dreyer. What is your opinion about his haircut? Did he explain why? Is it making more aerodynamic? I was like, I forgot what Olympics it was.
Is that better or worse than asking who the opening day starter is on the first day of pitchers and catchers report?
No, it's way worse. At least people know that's a bit.
Okay.
Asking a player about his bad hair, the haircut you think is bad.
I didn't ask, nor would I want anyone to ask. He can make his own decisions. He's a big boy. I also have the right and ability to criticize said opinions, which I am taking. Very good player, though.
A very good player, right, brother? We could grow the hair out a little bit, you know. The T's call up Frank before any hair changes. Do we got to get all of those approved for you?
I don't like the buzz cut. The buzz cut to me is just unless you're going into the military, there's no real reason for it.
Well, let's talk about the offensive depth of San Diego FC. There's other players besides Anders Dreyer and his haircut that Frank doesn't like. 9 different players have scored in the first 2 home matches before Dreyer even found the net. That's not a one-man team. That's not a one-man show. I mean, the depth of this team is huge, Frank.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, very solid team from top to bottom. And we saw pretty much whoever didn't play in the first game played in this one. We got to see Pedro Soma a little bit. We saw Zamble also get in for the final couple of minutes. Ian Pilcher saw some time in this game too. So we're seeing all of that depth happen, and they were really raving on the broadcast last night. They were really raving about how Marcus Ingvartsen is like a free signing with them. The fact he only played 8 games last year, he was a free.
We brought that up
signing.
we brought that up last week.
Yes,
100%. It's like a free signing. Logan Gillespie just punched somebody out for the A's, and he did the challenge. Bang, punch out. That's got to be even more embarrassing after you strike out. It's like, oh, no way.
It's another guy I like.
The whole ball was in the zone. Another guy battling for a spot out of options.
I've been a big Logan Gillespie fan, for sure. And
what do you think? What do you think of his haircut?
I haven't seen it.
Guy's wearing a hat, doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. So I just love the way the ball releases from his hand. It's a very quick release.
That was a nasty pitch.
And I said that on Twitter last year when he came up, and he was sent down the very next day. So shows how much they listen to me.
Logan Gillespie, nice moss. Frank approves. The defensive identity of San Diego FC starting to form a little bit. 2 games, 2 clean sheets for this team in MLS play. And I can't stop praising Fari and look how composed he looks out there. I mean, he's the 3rd string goalie of this team. He's the 3rd string goalie of this team. And so far, 2 clean sheets defensively. St. Louis never really threatened without Marcel Hartel. And that just shows the structure and discipline of this San Diego FC's defense that they have created so far.
It shows the quality and depth all throughout the roster. Typically, when you lose your starting goalkeeper, you are taking a significant dip in performance as your backup. Even more so as your 3rd string if he's not out on a loan or whatever. You have now seen CJ Dos Santos. You have now seen Pablo Cisniega, who signed a contract extension.
Yes, he did.
And you have now seen Fari all come in and act as though it's been their job the whole time with the way they have played. They have been incredible. Dos Santos got them through the first year. Cisniega got them through the conference championship and also got them through the playoffs last year. And now Fari is kicking this season off perfectly. Nothing short of perfectly. 7-0 in their first 2 games. So that also just goes to show the organizational depth that San Diego FC has been able to build. And this is going to be a very special team to watch. If not just this year, the next couple of years. This is going to be a very, very special team to watch.
Big picture. San Diego FC's 2-0 in MLS play. They're rolling into the CONCACAF round of 16 against Toluca FC. Confidence starting to build fast. And you know, it's no longer the conversation about expansion team survival soccer anymore. No. I mean, this is about ambition. And here's the thing, like, I think with how they've played so far in MLS play this season, it's only been 2 games, but 2 shutouts. They got a couple more games left. If they win the next couple of games before they play Toluca, I mean, watch out. They're building the right kind of momentum to take on a very good Toluca FC team. And maybe try to advance in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I mean, it's going to be a very difficult task for them. It's going to be the best team they probably have faced since becoming a new franchise. But Frank, I mean, I think with every game that they win and the confidence that boosts with this team offensively and defensively, plus the depth that they have had on offense without really having to use Anders Dreyer in terms of goals scored, the confidence from the goalkeepers in this particular sense, especially the young one in Fari, I could see them building momentum in a big way, and they might be able to punch Toluca in the mouth early in the contest here in San Diego. I mean, they're going to have to go down there again and win the aggregate. There's a lot going on, but I think it's giving them the best chance to potentially win if they can rack up some wins here.
Yeah, they've only got Sporting Kansas City on the road before they come back to play Toluca. And it's the same thing we saw against Pumas, where this first game, this first leg against Toluca is going to be very, very important, because we saw how much San Diego FC struggled, not necessarily in the way they played, but just the way they physically handled being up at that altitude, which is something they're not used to doing. So for San Diego FC, that first matchup against Toluca is going to be absolutely crucial to be able to build out that lead to where they can coast again. If they can't do that, or, God forbid they lose against Toluca, that could set up a very, very difficult second leg down in Mexico. So they've built up a lot of momentum. Their last loss was that meaningless loss against Pumas in leg number 2. Now they go on the road to Sporting Kansas City before they play Toluca. So they have built up a lot of fine momentum as this season has started.
Update on the Padres. They're still looking for their first hit. Oh, they got it. They're about to get it right here. I saw it on the sheet. It's on the sheets. Gets a hit right here before everybody watches on television.
Why do you
knock? Drops in for a
You know
base
how many
hit.
prop bettors just got their bets washed away right now?
I don't think so. It already happened physically in the game. Just because it didn't happen on TV yet didn't mean you had a chance. Padres got their first hit of the game. It's the 5th inning. A's 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Padres no runs, 1 hit, 1 error in spring training.
Spoiler alert, Surprenant over here.
Yeah, you know what? If you don't like it, catch up. Look at the box score. Apparently, that's up to date. That's like the Apple Sports app on your phone.
Yes,
that thing updates faster than anything. They were so fixated on it being the fastest deal. It is the fastest. Leo DeVries is 1 for 3 at the run score. He's hitting 308 in spring training.
Lost the trade.
His OPS is 665, though.
Lost the Mason Miller trade.
Mason Miller has gone 4 scoreless innings and thrown over 100 miles an hour.
Oh, they won the Mason Miller trade.
There it is. I knew that was coming. Castellanos grounded out the shortstop. Beats it out. Wow.
We did not spoiler alert the double play on that one.
No,
Good job.
Definitely not. So tough outing out of Michael King today. Again, they're working on stuff. I'm not overly upset about it. A lot of pitching talk today. I think I like the competition. We're going to continue to talk about that. Again, when it comes to spring training results, there's things that are going to be good. There's things that are going to be bad. You know, Logan Gillespie, 1 2/3 today, 3 strikeouts. Another arm battling for a bullpen spot. Jason Adams trying to be ready to go by opening day. Yuki Matsui might not be ready for opening day. There's a lot going on with the bullpen.
What on earth was this attempt here?
Sungmoon Song.
Sungmoon Song gets a hit, but watch the second bit.
He squeezed his glove and then he slid.
Yeah,
that's your boy Jeff McNeil right there.
He outstretched the glove, squeezed it, slid, and just the ball went under the glove.
That's your boy.
Is it now?
That's Jeff McNeil, number 22. That's your boy.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
Your guy.
There's a reason why they traded him.
Your guy, Jeff McNeil.
It's a reason why they've been trying to trade him.
What about his haircut? You like his haircut? I want to know now. I you know what? This is what I know is coming tomorrow. You ready for this? Go Aztecs in the chat. People in the chat. Name the top 10 best haircuts of the Padres as laid out by Frank Marchese.
Yep, there you go.
Can't wait for that one. Trying to figure out Frank's opinion on the haircuts of the athletes in town.
That's my mom. Which one she thinks will rank them that way, and that'll be our midday sports standoff question tomorrow.
It could be all time. Could be all time. Adam put in the chat at Khalil Green, number 1. Do a top 10 every day. Just have Frank rank random things like athletes in San Diego's haircuts.
We're
Anders Dreyer needs a new haircut, according to Frank.
Today is the midday sports standoff based off the mind of a madman. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that.
No, nothing at all. That was a bad attempt by Jeff McNeil on that deal. Padres got a couple of hits. Sungmoon Song and Gavin Sheets. Fermin was able to get an RBI on a ground ball. 7-1 A's now, but we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Gwynn and Chris coming up next. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. For Frank Marchese, I'm Braden Surprenant. Talk to you guys tomorrow.